Mirëmëngjes. Good morning.
Good morning, Jesse.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Padria. I was just saying in Albanian, good morning. That means Jesse.
Okay, I won't try to say that.
Yeah, we are going to teach some Albanian words today as well.
Good morning, mirëmëngjes.
Yes,
Good
morning.
morning everyone, mirëmëngjes nga Tirana.
Good morning, everyone. Mirëmëngjesi.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Julia, dëgjojmë?
Po.
Okay. Se kamerak funksionon apo jo?
We will wait 1 more minute and we start.
Okay.
I see already everyone coming there. Thank you very much, really. It's a great pleasure. Okay, I think we can start. Okay. Good morning, Europe. Good morning, everyone. Mirëmëngjesi gjithëve. Good early morning from the US. Good afternoon from Hong Kong. Hello to everyone. Thank you for joining across the globe, for being and honoring all of us in these important days that it's not only an International Women's Day for us, but it's also there are 2 more celebrations that I'm going to tell you. And it's really a great pleasure to having all of you here. Because today it's not just a workshop, but it's a statement, thanks to all of you, that we have women involving in every dimension, starting from universities, laboratories, leaders, AI strategies, innovation, and really that can be truly inspiring for all of us. And we are gathering all of us under a very powerful message that is women support other women. But thanks to a very special guest, like we have the male that are supporting us with saying that women empower women, whereas the men are empowering the equality. We keep saying that we are not saying every time mentioning the woman by just saying that we are better. This is not a competition. We every time would like to point it out, to highlight. This is a collaboration to prove the word that the diversity of the woman can bring to the society a very special thing that can be lasting. So today we are going to hear various really stories that will be truly inspiring. And I would like to be the one that speaks last today, because for sure there will be much more interesting story to share about. And welcome to this workshop. And thank you for showing that it's not important for you where people come from. It's not important where the origin is, but you truly appreciate and support the others. I would like just to share with you just a few slides to make you familiar who we are presenting, and then giving the floor to all those special speakers that we have here. So I will just share my screen and okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, if I move the slides, are you seeing them?
Yes.
Okay, so we have been organizing this workshop on behalf of the AWIN, Albanian Women in Nanotechnology, the Albanian Academy of Science, and the Nano-Balkan Regional Center, with the topic that women rising in STEM, leadership, innovation, and confidence. We are a community that we are gathering people from Albania, North Macedonia, and Kosovo. For a lot of people that they never maybe knew exactly where it is, I just put in the map where you can find. But we have to also remember that it's not only us, it's the diaspora or places in Montenegro, Serbia, that there are a lot of Albanians around. Here you can find some beautiful views if you would like to visit Kosovo, Albania, North Macedonia, where you find very warm people, nice food, nice places, and you will feel very special as you really are. We are all located in the Balkan Peninsula of Southeast Europe. And here I have just summarized all of you that honored us, and we are really looking forward to have all of you speaking. And I would like really to thank the organizing committee and all of you for being here. And also I would like to thank also Anastasia for helping us to make all of these design flyers. I come from a very small village of Kosovo, and it's really small. So in that time, I never knew it where I will be. So it's a story that it's not maybe very, very huge, but it makes me very happy to bring me where I am today. I started in Kosovo University of Pristina to go further for my master's studies and the PhD when I joined to the University of Turin, Italy, Department of Chemistry, that I'm very thankful to them, especially the project BioSynFin for my contract now as an assistant professor, that we see that we are a lot of women working there, and they also give me a lot of time and space to contribute to the Albanian community. So what I would like to point out that through this journey, I had the chance to be in Linda Nobel laureate meeting, following World Science Summit, and all of this to meet those amazing speakers. I put there a picture of my parents, especially I would like to mention my mother, because 8th of March in Albania and Kosovo and North Macedonia is also the Mother's Days. And also we have also the Teacher Day. So we would like to thank you for being here and for celebrating with us those special days, and for being faithful that in the small things, because there it will be that the strength lies, as the Mother Teresa said. So thank you for giving us the hope to improve the individuals, as Maria Curie said, and we look forward for your inspiring quotes. So I would like now to give the floor to our special guest, Professor Arben Merkoçi. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, Julia. Good morning. Hello from Barcelona. First of all, I would like to warmly congratulate the organizers of this meeting, Dr. Julia Hoti and Majlinda Vasjari, together with the entire committee who made this possible for us all to gather here today on the occasion of March 7th, the International Day of Women. You have brought together an outstanding panel of women speakers, not only from Balkan region, but beyond. And this is truly inspiring. On behalf of Nano Balkan, the Regional Center of Nanotechnology, created alongside the Academia of Sciences of Albania, which is a virtual center that brings together around 30 research groups across the region and beyond, I'd like to express our sincere appreciation for this initiative and for the continued support of our mission. A special thanks goes to AWIN, the Albanian Women in Nanotechnology, the network established within Nano Balkan, for their remarkable effort over the years in bringing together excellent women scientists, not only for this occasion, but also during the Nano Balkan conference that we are organizing since 5 years, and this year hopefully we'll have in the 6th conference in Tirana again. The Day of Women should not be just one day, it should be every day of the year. And this is not only about science, it concerns all human activities. Women who bring life, energy, and vision to our societies are one of the fundamental pillars of our communities. In science, we clearly recognize the essential role of women researchers. This is not simply a matter of gender balance, it is about excellence, about intelligence, resilience, dedication, creativity, and the unique ability to build collaborative and supportive environments. Women have consistently demonstrated that Where they lead and contribute strongly, systems perform better. It is therefore not a coincidence that nearly 50% of the group leaders at the Nano-Balkan Center, including the co-coordinator, are women. This reflects our belief that supporting women means strengthening science. I wish this event great success, and I sincerely hope that even more men will join such initiative in the future, because progress requires all of us working together in support of a very important cause. Supporting women strengthens science. Thank you very much, and I wish you a very nice event today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Arben Merkoçi. I would like just to point out that Professor Arben Merkoçi is the reason why I'm part of this initiative, because he every time gathers us, and he's a very distinguished professor in Spain. And thank you very much for making all these efforts to our community. And through the generosity, kindness, inspiration, and connection, we build a better world, and for women that give birth not only to life, but to ideas, progress, and inspiration that shape every aspect of the society. I open the session of all the female speakers, and I give the floor to Professor Valbona Alikom, that is a very fantastic professor from the University of Tirana. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much, Julia, for your kind words. And I also want to thank you very much, Professor Arbeni, for the inspiring words on behalf of all members, and especially the women in this community. And I want to express our gratitude for your leadership, Professor Arbeni, for your open-minded support and constant support that you gave us since the beginning of NanoAlb and now Nano-Balkan. And as a saying goes, that behind the successful women always stand collaborative men. So thank you very much for creating such a nice, very nice community, scientific one, and also makes us a collaborative group and a traditional. Now we have this tradition now to have this kind of workshop. I think we have 3 years almost. We have organizing this fantastic gathering of all women into the NanoAlb, and not also, but also in the STEM. So a few words about myself. As Julia told you, I am coming from University of Tirana, Faculty of Natural Science. My background is biologist, and within the NanoAlb, I am a head of the nanotoxicology group, research group, and also the coordinator of the Quartz, which is a young PhD students group, who is supported a lot from all professors which are part of this community. And without losing any more time, I have a great pleasure to invite our first speaker, which is Catherine Jan, a lecturer and futurist from Switzerland, empowering women in science and leadership. Catherine, the floor is yours. So thank you. Do we have Catherine online? Yes.
Yes, she's there.
Okay. Few minutes.
Thank you so much, Valbona, Gili, Professor, dear science audience, distinguished colleagues, fellow researchers, and leaders, STEM women in this field. You hear me well?
Yes.
Great.
It's
And
great.
greetings, warm sunny greetings from Zurich, Switzerland. Short intro to my person, CEO from the Swiss Future Institute. We are 72 with the AI Future Council, now here in Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Austria, Germany, and the core DACH region here in our beautiful European science, research, innovative one AI human collective intelligence community. I briefly talk with you about the intelligence crisis, why your AI strategy is half blind without women, before coming to something very personal, my personal moments to struggle and how to overcome it. The intelligence crisis, distinguished colleagues, we are currently navigating what I call the intelligence crisis. It's not only a crisis of computing power, nor a shortage of data. It is a crisis of architecture at itself. And women are statistically more than half of the population here in Switzerland and in others. And taking the data, I'm a bit nerdy, for me it's positive, I hope for you as well. We live longer, so depending on which generation data set you take, it's 6, 7, 8 years, we do live longer. So we have potentially more years to give, to take productivity, innovation, all these wonderful science-backed up business cases, why it's not a charity to consider women starting with your data, but it's a true hard fact business case. We need to address this intelligence crisis as we race to build systems, AI, that mirror human cognition, which mirrors our society, history, our way to speak and interact with each other. We are scaling a version of intelligence that is structurally incomplete without us, women. If your AI strategy does not center the cognitive and the perspective of our diverse real population counting us in, then you are missing over half of our demographic, social demographic, knowledge ability to project an objective science reality. In this sense, we have something like a scaling paradox and also tremendously affecting the feedback loop. We have algorithmic blind spots, the biases, and with tremendous consequences, talking about security and traffics, talking about health, which can lead to death, talking about vast majority, also in scaling in companies. Everybody is now competing, drafting in AI and feeling this tremendous pressure. In companies, just give you one concrete more example, in HR, from hiring to promoting to being seen, to being promoted. If we take the AI tools, again, our data must be included, or this will have a majority of consequence, serious one. And this lies upon us, every one of us. You don't need to be expert in anything, but raise and use your voice for good. Dear women in STEM, it is upon us to drive this visibility, cognition, awareness, and to spread the words, and it starts ultimately with you. We come to a short conclusion here. Diversity is a requirement for accuracy, for data, for high quality data. Not excluding, but definitely including diverse female voices, not to generate and perpetuate any incomplete model. From narrow tools to building robust ecosystems from the whole full spectrum of human intelligence. Therefore, if you want to scale, if you want your AI to be resilient, ethical, globally applicable, applied knowledge, applied worth AI, globally from AI China, AI US, where the heck is Europe, including you and your country, you must bridge the visionary gap. A strategy that is half blind will always stumble. A strategy that sees the whole world is the one that will lead and thrive. Bridging to the personal moments of me, very short in a nutshell for you, a moment of challenge and how you transformed it, learn to swim. And this you don't do from the sideline. You do by jumping into the water. Imagine you were a small fish and everybody started small before getting to the final point. Maybe you are limited and maybe you do it partly also to yourself. Imagine a small fish in an aquarium in a box, and then one day allow yourself to go into the big ocean. Yes, it might be frightening, and yes, you're gonna dare and simply do it, because then you find out what's ultimately possible for you. Do not limit yourself and find out, hey, maybe it was this small fish bottle box, but now in the big ocean, you finally hit and find, dare to dream big and live out your high capacities, your capabilities, and your passion. Dear women in STEM, simply do it. I was afraid to. What drives you work and defines success for you ultimately? Impact. It took me a long time to find and use my voice. I was quite silent at the beginning, but now I finally found it. Use it. Yeah, it's a muscle you can train. It's not with you being born with it. And do not only use it for good, for tech, for leadership, for STEM, for your science field, for your research. Also, whenever there's another great woman in the room, push, support each other. Yeah, use it also for others, not only for yourself. Third, your source of inspiration, definitely you, my environment, my AI Future Council by the Swiss Future Institute, my university lecturing, such as for University Applied Sciences Zurich, and many others where I'm guest lecturing, ETH, St. Gallen, German University Technology Cologne, and Bavarian University where I'm lecturing the MBA. All this together, when I get so much good vibes, energy back, this is for me inspiration. It doesn't need to be one role model. You are yourself. Look at your peers. Look at all the steps along your path. And if there's no path, build it for your own. Last point, advice you would like to share to other STEM women. The moment you feel you are the only woman or the only one in the room, the youngest, the only one which is looking different or from another background, whatever. As Julie said wonderfully at the beginning, it does not matter where you come from. It does matter where your dreams lie, where you are going, and you are going big. And the moments you feel small and the only one in the room, look upon you and open the doors, open the back doors. You might be one of the first, you are not the last, and there will be many other great women in STEM who will follow, see you every day. You have an ultimate impact on your peers, on your environment, digitally, physically, personally. Use your voice for good and go 100%. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Catherine. It was so nice and so beautiful talk you gave it. And let me thank you for sharing such a clear and inspiring perspective on artificial intelligence. And you highlighted the transformative potential of technology, but also emphasized how diverse voices and collaboration drive innovation forward. We can have some 5 minutes if any from the audience have any question or something to discuss with Catherine. She can be, I hope, 5 minutes more. Just to have
I have another keynote later on, but it's very fine. And thank you so much for your work, the whole team, Julie, dear professors, female and male professors. It's wonderful. Yeah, this is very, very relevant.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Really, thank you. I, as I also mentioned in all the emails exchanged, unfortunately, these are super, super short stories that with all of you, we can speak an entire day with each of you because you have to say a lot. But it's just the way to connect. And really, thank you for being here and also for inspiring me and us, and every time for lifting each other, helping to lift each other up. So thank you very much. So we wait maybe to make the discussion from the audience if they have questions. Otherwise, Professor Valbona can start, or me.
Yes.
I shared with you feel free to follow me next to 60,000 other followers if you like. And also, I'm very interested in your personal stories. Yeah, these are the little real stories which are ultimately inspiring for other women. How many moments, we all know them, yeah, where you feel like, is it just me? no, it's not just you, it's us, yeah, and it makes a hell lot of difference, yeah. When I was here in Switzerland, yeah, and statistically, I'm not even white, yeah, I was always the only Asian, yeah, you might feel it transferred to your situation too, yeah. And I was the youngest, the only woman, and the only non-white person in the leadership executive team. In the corporate world. So I was, you can check my profile if you want. I don't do any advertising, but as multi-billion corporations before, when I was employee, now I'm entrepreneur by myself with the Swiss Future Institute. But before, all the board meetings, all the steering committee meetings, you were then the only one, yeah, with a dress, yeah. So I totally resonate and again motivate you. Priya, please go ahead. You have a question.
Okay, I will start until we have someone. Yes, since you are saying that you have been the only woman, how you felt there, kind of how you try to pass through this, like to not appear like you are the only woman, but to show to them that, look, we are equal. What makes you to keep so strong, to build now who you are?
Great
For
question.
us, that we may have this same issue, and for all of us, the others that are listening us.
Great question. Thank you, Julie. And I think afterwards, Priya raised the hand, has a question too. Quick one on this. I'm super honest since we are a bit between us, right? Our little protected environment. Hey, I had to learn it too. One of my first bosses said, "You have such a great CV. We hired you. Why you are so silent?" So I didn't speak up in meetings at the beginning, right? When I was after university, I'm super honest with you, opening up here. And then I had to overcome this first moment. You simply train it. I forced myself for every conversation, especially if a room was full, to raise my hand and to pose that voice to train it as a muscle. Yeah, as you're running for a marathon. Yeah, just with the little steps. And then I thought, like, okay, actually, you have great ideas. Yeah, you'd dare to speak up, and many men do it as very natural. Yeah, and then a second thing, and when I was like between 12 and 18, maybe, I really tried to blend in. I thought like, gosh, I wish I was like blonde, blue eyes, and just fitting where I supposed to live, where, and looking like, and so on. And I tried to be very under the radar, not to grasp any attention, no negative intention. So to be as normal as possible. And then there was a moment where I just realized, gosh, this is not it, where I want to spend the next maybe 100 years. Go for it for your life in such young years. Go for it. You're gonna be visible anyway, as the only woman or one of the minorities transferred to you are visible anyway. They look at you anyway. So make the best out of it. Start with you and really use these moments for good. If you don't, and that's my last one on this question, if you are silent, you leave the room to others. People interpret and have all the cliches, bias, or assumptions about you. If you take the room, if you say you're competent, small things, step by step, people get, oh, this is Gidi. Oh, this is Majlinda. Oh, this is Valbona. Oh, this is her. Then you gonna shape this picture. And this is also where I started in social media. Yeah, I was not posting at all. I had like 200 followers, and now I have 60,000. I use it as a tool. This is not just blah blah. It's a real impact. Yeah, we use it for business, for visibility, for reaching our community. Yeah, and also this you can do. Yeah, every day you can do the small steps. Priya, I think somebody raised your hand. Please just speak up.
Hello, hi. Thank you. As a woman, I've noticed you did say that to seize every opportunity you have. Is there anything you wish you had not left out? Like by chance, sometime in your past, you wish you've taken that opportunity, but you didn't. Do you regret? Do you have any regrets?
Yes. I'm super honest. I know most politicians and so say, yeah, it was always this meant to be, and I would always do exactly what I did. It makes me the person today. Yes, I do too. Like I do accept it, and as a lessons learned. So it's okay to make failures and regrets and to pass moments. It's okay if you learn out of it. It's not okay to do 7 times with the same stupid things, input, output, also science. If you do the same input and expect another outcome, that's stupid. So for me, yes, I do have, and I learned out of it. There were moments where I was under massive pressure privately and business-wise, yeah. And on top, this is a bit Asian maybe from my traditional family and so on. I was making myself most of pressure and I missed out. Yeah. I was also thinking things very, very, very serious. Yeah. Where the one or other smart man in negotiation simply went all in like with poker. Yeah. And maybe not backed up with everything. And I was very serious, very careful, considering all the facts. So which is also statistically something might be more women doing that. And then I learned, hey, chill, take it cool. You can take it serious up to a certain point, but still have your good night's sleep. And be confident, even if you do not know. So this is my learning now for you, yeah, where I regretted to do it, but now I would definitely. If somebody asks you, say yes. You can still say, okay, yes, I think one night over it, but don't say quickly no. Yeah, unless it's a really stupid offer, then of course. Yeah, really give yourself a room, dare, allow to think big and be confident. Yeah, even if it's not all solved, the 100 factors behind which might happen. It doesn't matter. Yeah, for example, for your next big job, for your next promotion, for your professor, and so on. Just say yes. Yeah, and allow yourself, and then you will find a way. You will find a way, a solution to build this way to it. This is my answer to it. Thank
Okay,
you.
so thank you. Thank you very much, Catherine. And I think we can live with this nice quote you say. And since we have now your email and everything, we can be in touch further. So I think we can go to the next speaker for today.
Thank you very much again,
So
Catherine.
thank you again.
And good luck with the rest, and happy International Women's Day, and keep inspiring. Looking forward to meeting you soon, for sure. Thank you very much.
So thank you again.
As much as we thank everyone, it will never be enough. So thank you.
Thank you. Very, very quick one. You are warm welcome in Switzerland. GD will be there. Tremendous science, women and men, great. From 4 universities, Switzerland and Germany will be there. 26, 27. It's called the Future Symposium. I drop it in only if you can make it. You are warmly welcome. Yeah, also the academics, the students, the PhD. Bye and have a wonderful International Women's Day. I drop it into the message.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Okay. So I have a pleasure now to go to the next speaker for today, Professor Majlinda Vasjari. And I'm honored to introduce her to you, as a lot of us, part of Nano Balkan, knows Professor Majlinda. It's a co-coordinator since the beginning. And also it's, I think, but not only me, she's a role model for all of the women within NanoAlb, but not also. And she has a lot of experience with a lot of projects, publishing published papers, sorry, and a lot of projects running. So I leave the floor to Professor Majlinda to share with us some of her experiences. Professor Majlinda, it's your turn.
Professor, you are muted.
Yes, she is, but she's trying to share the screen in a while.
Yeah.
Yes, now it's
Yeah, thank you. I was saying Thank you, Valbona, for the introduction of myself. I am very happy that we are organizing this year again this meeting on the occasion of the International Women's Day. And also I would like to thank very much and to congratulate Julia and Marinella that has organizing this event that I am very sure that will be a success of our work. As you said, I am from the Department of Chemistry, University of Tirana, and also I am engaged in coordinating with NanoAlb from the beginning. Sorry. A few introduction of NanoAlb. We began as NanoAlb as a virtual center next Academy of Science of Albania. But after these for 6 years, we are converted to Nano Balkan because in our center are attached some other groups, not from Albanian University and Albanian speakers, but also from the region, such as we have, sorry, because we have a group attached from Serbia, from Israel, from Crete, from Italy and Spain. So it was very normal that we from NanoAlb would be converted to the Nano Balkan Center, a regional center of nanoscience and nanotechnology. I will skip the mission of NanoAlb because in general I can say that coordinate all the activities and research in the field of nanoscience and nanotechnology. Here I am concentrating to emphasize or to show the role of women in our center. When we was in the beginning with 14 groups from Albania, Kosovo, and Tetova into 2019. Today we are 30 groups, more than 130 researchers, and also with us are attached 5 satellite groups from the region. In all of those leaders, we have 16 women, and I here in this slide are showing to you the most active of all those groups led by the women. The expertise of our women is very different from the bio nanomaterials and the tissue engineering, from nanotoxicity and molecular biology, to biosensors that are based on using nanomaterials in the agriculture, in the textile field, in environmental field, and pharmacology, and so on. Here I have showed to you the photo of the groups, but not the names, because I would like to say that after these women, there are groups, and in those groups are other women that collaborate together, work, do science, and teaching also. But not just this, because the women of Nano Balkan today are engaged also in all the activities that NanoAlb or Nano Balkan today has done. So the main activity are our project supported by Academy of Science of Albania. Till now there are 3 calls that are ended. 10 project has finished very successfully. The 6 others will be finished in May, June this year. And we have opened the third call of proposals, where we have collected 9 project ideas, and in general there are 7 women to coordinate those new projects. Also, women of Nano-Balkan are not participated, but they are coordinator of a project funded by national funds from National Agency for Research, Science and Innovation, also for some bilateral projects, and even in European projects. And here I have some photos just to show that the women in those projects not just coordinate, but they work actively in the field and in the lab also. Other activities of Nano-Balkan, there are the workshop, seminar, and conferences. We have organized each year one international conference on in the field of nanoscience and nanotechnology. The women have participating with all oral and poster presentations, but also they have done a great job in organizing such events, to be part of the organizing committee and to take care for all the activities done in the frame of those conferences. NanoAlb also, or Nano-Balkan today, has prepared the master in nanotechnology. It is established and is running today in the University of Western Balkan in Tirana, and we hope that this academic year, this master will be also run in the University of Tirana, and the coordinator of those masters are women. Nano-Balkan has also the Quartz program, which is a unit in the frame of NanoAlb that deals with the doctoral students that do the PhD studies in our groups and are led by our groups. A lot of achievements I very shortly mentioned here, but it is very important what about for the future, which is the future of NanoAlb and which is the role of women in NanoAlb. I have selected just one direction, which is the publication of young girls part of Nano-Balkan in the very important, very good journal, like as Advanced Materials Nanotechnologies, with impact factor 6.2, in sensing and biosensing research, in chemo-electrochem, in results in chemistry. Here there are just selected 4 journals that I know, but I'm sure that the PhD students in other groups of Nano-Balkan has the same results and published in the same or even better journal. The young generation of NanoAlb and girls in Nano-Balkan have participated also with oral and poster presentation in the conferences, and they have won in several cases certificate and have awarded prizes organized in such certificates. So I don't like to go further and to give more details, because I think that I mentioned the most important points of Nano-Balkan and the role of women's experienced scientists and young generation also. Thank you for your attention, and if you have any question or something more that would like to hear from me, please do it.
So thank you very much, Professor Majlinda. As always, inspirative, your talk. So I hope that a young generation will find in an inspiring role, saying what you have done for NanoAlb, but not only. So now welcome. I have a pleasure to welcome Fedrie St. Hilary. She is going to give us a beautiful talk about imperfect, ambitious, and reinvented. And she, with a science academic researcher background, she's going to share some experiences on corporate or as corporate leader, and also consultant, coach, and board member from Copenhagen, Denmark. So floor is yours, Fedrie, and I'm happy to hear what you are going to tell us about your journey. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Can you see my screen? Is the display the right one?
Yes, it's okay.
It's not really in presentation view yet. Perhaps you would like to do that then.
Yes.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you.
Is this okay now?
Fantastic. It's perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Well, it's such a great pleasure for me to be here. So thank you very much, Julia, for the invitation. And I think it's a really amazing thing that we can be gathered here today to celebrate International Women's Day. And for me, International Women's Day, it's a catalyst, a reminder, and the way that we really move the needle and advance women into leadership position, into decision-making powers. It's by the everyday acts that we do, both men and women. So let's take International Day as a reminder and to set the goals of where we want to be. Because as was said very early on in the beginning, when systems have adequate representation of women, they do perform better. So this is a picture of me here. That was me as a young PhD student at the University at Duke University in the US. And what I want to talk about today is my career journey and a few of the very important lessons that I have learned, some of them from mistakes that I made that made me be the person that I am today. And I started off in chemistry, and now I don't work in the lab, but I do work with what I call the most important chemistry of all, which is human chemistry. And in my work, I have chosen to focus on being an advocate for gender equality and supporting women in their leadership journey. I do that as a coach and also with leadership programs. So after my PhD, I went to right across the Atlantic and I went to a research institute. So this was where my research career started at the Carlsberg Research Institute in Denmark. And I worked with basic research for about 10 years, which resulted in 40 plus publications and 5 patent applications, 2 of them being granted. As circumstances would have, I ended up working for a small biotech company. I led the research and development. Then I transitioned to pharmaceutical industry, first as a research scientist, and then as a corporate director, where I had responsibility for budgets of 50 million euro. This sounds really, really good and really great, but I would like to tell you that there were periods in this time where there were so many challenges. In a 5-year period, I lost my job 3 times. 3 times. The first time, the sector that I worked in closed down. I moved to the biotech. The company ran out of money and we were up for sale. At the last minute, there was a Hail Mary and the pharmaceutical company bought the biotech, but we had a limited time to do the project. The project closed down, and then again, I was without a job. However, one of the things that I've learned is that support can come from the unlikeliest of persons. And that means you have to be open to who you let into your inner circle, who you choose as a mentor, who you choose as a guide, and speak your dreams and dream big. Because one of the people that I spoke to, I mentioned that I really would like to move from the bench to more into leadership. And so after the third time I lost my job, this person came up to me and said, hey, this is an opportunity for you. Would you like to pursue it? So, and it was somebody I never expected. I had already put them in a box saying, oh, I could not get anything from that person. So be open and speak your dreams. And then the other thing was something that my bachelor's degree supervisor told me. You can let things happen to you, or you can make things happen for you. I mean, we all have a choice. And this advice he gave to me very early in my career, where I was deliberating whether I should go to medical school as my parents wanted, or should I do research, which I really loved. And I chose research because it's really, really important that we take control and not just do what is expected. Don't let people define us. Don't define what we should do and what we can do, but we take control and we make it happen for you. Because in the same situation where I had lost my job for the third time, I was offered a position where I could continue to be a research scientist in the company. But I knew that was not what I wanted. And so because of the person who could support me, I had the courage to tell them, no, I do not want to do this research, but I would instead do something which took me more into the commercial direction of my career. And so I worked at the pharmaceutical company for about 14 years. And then again, there was another change, right? There was a reorganization, and once more, I lost my job. So what am I to do? This time, I decided that I wanted to do things that really brought me joy, things that made an impact. So alongside my career, I had always been an advocate for gender equality, for supporting women. I had founded an organization for women of color. And so when I lost my job because of the reorganization, I decided that this is what I'm going to focus my attention on. So I went to school, I got trained as an executive coach, become board certified, and now I work as a consultant and speaker, still some of the farmer work, but mainly with leadership development, coaching, and being a speaker on gender equality. I also became an angel investor, again, to close the gender financial gap. I realized that many women founders were not getting the funds to have their ideas come to life. So I do what I can. And until now, have invested into 14 different startups, not just with women founders, and invested 130,000 euros into those companies. So it's a journey of a reinvention. And again, going back to, this is very similar to what Catherine said. Many times I was the only woman in the room. I was the only Black woman in the room. And then when you get into the room, what do? You can be silent, or you could try to dim your light. You could try to fit in or be almost invisible. Or you can choose to stand strong and dazzle, because we are all brilliant, right? We don't have to be perfect. We can dazzle, but it's a choice that we have to make. And if it doesn't come naturally to you, it's something that we have to work on. I also had to work on that all my life. And the other word of caution is beware of what I call the 3 Ps. And this is something that I personally experienced, but it's something that I still see in many of the women leaders that I coach. And number 1, the first P is pleasing people. There are people who have certain expectations of you, and you want to make them happy. We want to be liked. It took me a while before I can admit I do not need people to like me. Yes, you respect me, you treat me fairly, but I do not need to please you and be liked. The other P is what I call paralysis by fear of failure. Very often we have this fear of failing. But if we don't fail, then we can never move on to what works. And the fear of failure paralyzes us. And the close related is perfectionism. And that was the title of my talk, because again and again, I see many women deselect themselves, not try for certain positions, take a lot of time to send in the grant because they want to be perfect. And perfectionism, it's a tax that we pay dearly. In science, we know that one of the ways, we accelerate our careers if we have publications, if we are perceived as key opinion leaders, if we are experts in our industry, if we are visible, we go to conferences, we are visible in our organizations, we demonstrate leadership, we can attract grants, so we can win grants and bring in money. And then we have a legacy through the students, through our work with different organizations such as this. These are the things that science rewards. However, when we are perfect or when we strive for being perfect, our output is slower. There are many things that we don't do. We deselect ourselves. We have reduced visibility, and that can lead to chronic stress, burnout, and fatigue. Again, I experienced it personally, but some of the women that I coach, they always talk about not being able to manage their time, yet they would spend hours and hours perfecting just a simple email that needs to be sent. So it's really, really, if there's one thing you can take away from this, it's that we are brilliant, we do not need to be perfect, and we need to act and do things quickly. And it requires that we change our mindset from being perfect to progressing things. I'm not saying that we should not have high standards and we should not have a high quality. Yes, of course, but it should not be something that's a burden that weighs us down and prevents us from progressing. One of the things I had to learn was good enough. I remember whenever I had to make a presentation, I would spend a whole week perfecting it, making sure that everything is pretty much aligned. And then you go to the meeting and then you see people's presentations, it's not even as good. But the important thing is to focus on the content. So learning that 70% is good enough, or when 70% is good enough, and quickly getting out the first version so that you can get feedback on it. I constantly have to prioritize my tasks and focus on doing the most important things when I have the most energy. Especially now that I'm a consultant and I work alone, there are many things that I have to do. And discerning between when something requires more than 70% or even less 70% is key. And I set time limits. I use my timer quite a lot. When I have to do something, I will set the timer and say, this is the time I have allocated to get it done. However, we are human beings and we are not perfect. So we have to be kind to ourselves because everybody has a limitation, and know that it's okay to ask for help. This is one of the things I really, really had to learn, to ask for help, because I was usually the person people would come to ask to help them. And this is one of the key things. Be kind to ourselves and ask for help. And in closing, a career in science or a successful career in science, it's not about being perfect. It's about experimenting and having the courage to do things differently, having the courage to step out of our comfort zone, and having the courage to be imperfect. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Fedria. I enjoyed every word you said. It was a real talk full of lifetime lectures. So thanks for all advices you gave to all of us. It was inspiring advices, yes. So a few minutes with Fedria because maybe she has to leave in a while. So if anybody has any question or inquiry or something to talk or to ask, please feel free.
Yes, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, just 5 minutes. We can have that. Yeah.
Maybe while we are waiting for Sir Valbona, I would like just to add a few words. And of course, we can also ask, I would really like to thank a lot Fedria because she's fantastic. And I would like to share with all of you amount of all the conversations I made with her. I mean, you know, she really impressed me, and she gave me two very important, inspiring quotes. One of them, I asked her to write me, and she just looked me on my face, and based on what she noticed, she wrote me, "Let your authenticity shines always," the first one. And the second, when I asked her how to be able to reach everything after she was speaking and giving us advices, she told me, once you have the right persons close to you, both privately and professionally, you can be able to do everything. So, and another thing, she really gave me a huge hand when I was having my first keynote speech. I was so stressful, and she took 1 hour, 2 hours almost with Professor Morten Meldal, and she gave me advices. She checked the presentation, and really, even though she just met me very short time, she's always there. And I don't know, I'm so happy that finally we can really reach these, no color, no gender, but just see the persons who really are, because people are fantastic. Thank you very much, Fadria, and happy International Women's Day, and happy all your achievements, really.
Thank you.
Such a pity we have just a short time here, but for sure we'll be able to organize other events.
Yes, for sure. Questions?
Yeah, maybe
Miss
someone has.
Fadria?
I've seen one hands up, so
Go ahead.
Harshini. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, Miss Fadria. Thank you so much for your talk. Seeing your career path, you had several highs, you have several lows. What advice would you like to give for the newest generation of women? Because times have become really uncertain. There's fundings being pulled, job market is bad, and what advice would you like to give them?
Yes, I'm aware of the situation right now. It's very different and it's very tough. And it might sound a cliche when I say don't give up, but this is what you need to do. However, while you are persisting, you have to be creative and find other ways. Some of the women that I know ended up being entrepreneurs. So you may not be able to get a position, or it might be difficult to get a position doing research, but maybe you have an idea. Maybe you can turn your research into something that you can sell for somebody else. And so that's one thing. Explore different opportunities and support each other. I think if you come together as a group, then you are stronger, then you don't feel alone. Because many times we give up because we are not seen, and we feel alone, and we feel that there is no path forward. However, if you surround yourself with others who can support you and where you can share openly, then you can get the courage and the strength to continue and be resilient.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Bright words. Thanks a lot. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, thank you, Fadria, and have a very nice career and time, and happy 8 March, of course.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, if anybody wants to connect with me, I
Yeah.
will put my LinkedIn in the chat.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay.
All right, then. Enjoy
Yeah,
the rest
thanks
of
a
the
lot.
session. I have to
Thank you
leave
very much,
now.
Fadria.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, well, yeah, bye-bye. And now I have to welcome another brilliant, let's say, talk speaker, which is Majlinda Vasjari. And beyond her excellent professional background, I would like to introduce her as a AWIN co-founder. That is mission and vision of Albanian Women in Nanotechnology 2026. So please, Majlinda, it's my pleasure to have you here today and to share with us something, a little one, about your experience and yeah, lifetime and success on your work. Please floor is yours. Is that Marinela online? Should be. Is she there? No.
We don't listen.
You're muted, Marinela.
Ah, she's muted. Okay.
We cannot hear you, Marinela.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, can you hear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, yes.
Can you see my screen also?
We see you now, so welcome again.
Welcome. How can I
your
share my screen?
Yes.
You see also my screen?
Yes, we're happy to.
The slides, I mean.
No, not yet. Okay.
So I don't see the option share my screen. Sorry, I don't. Well, hello?
Should be a green arrow at the bottom of the screen. It's, I don't know how.
Actually, I don't have the option to share my screen. It's really weird.
At the bottom of the,
if you want, Nela, you can send it to me, and so I can save it. Meantime, we can go on.
Yes, just go on with another presentation. That's better.
So
yeah, let's do like this.
we can shift to another one, yeah? Or
yes.
waiting for her?
Because I cannot share my screen right now for some reason. Sorry.
So, Julia, what do you think? We can go with go on with Majlinda? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we can shift to another presentation, which is Majlinda Vasjari, coming from Kosovo, I think, University of Pristina, and she's going to tell us something about adversity to impact, choosing something, choosing leadership. She's coming also from research areas, chemistry. So, Majlinda, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Again.
Thank you. Warm greetings from Pristina. It is truly an honor to be part of this workshop, and I would like to sincerely thank the organizers, Julie and Marinela especially, for the invitation and for creating a space where we can come together to share experiences, inspire one another, and discuss how we can continue to grow as leaders and innovators. For me, being part of this conversation is very meaningful because the journey of women in STEM is not only about scientific discovery, it is also about confidence, perseverance, and the courage to open doors for the generations that will follow us. So thank you again for having me, and I'll share some reflections from my own experience. When people look at scientists' CV, they see degrees, publications, projects, collaborations. What they do not see are the circumstances in which those journeys begin. I began studying chemistry in 1992 during one of the most difficult periods in my country's history. Schools were closed, universities were displaced, our parents had lost their jobs. For ambitious young students, it felt as though our future had been suspended. Our classes, sorry, Marinela, I think that you are not muted or something is going on. Are you hearing me?
Yes, it's okay with you.
Okay, thank you. So our classes were held in private houses converted into improvised schools. My 4-year bachelor degree in chemistry was completed in a very old house that functioned as our university. At that moment, I had two options: stay home and complain about circumstances I could not control, or do my best with those circumstances. I chose the second, and I did it as a 22-year-old mother. That period shaped me more than any later academic achievement. It taught me that excellence is not dependent on perfect infrastructure. It depends on discipline, resilience, and clarity of purpose. My academic path continued into organic chemistry, where I focused on the synthesis and characterization of bioactive compounds and their antioxidant mechanisms. I was fascinated by how subtle structural differences at the molecular level could change biological behavior. In the lab, everything is precise, controlled, and logical. Molecules behave according to physical laws, and there is comfort in that. But over time, I began asking a broader question. If we understand molecules so well, how do we ensure that the way we work as chemists is aligned with sustainability? Recently, we started exploring greener strategies, making an intentional move from asking only, is this compound active, to also asking, is the process responsible? Is it sustainable? Another milestone in my career came when I expanded my work beyond molecular systems into climate and energy systems. I had the opportunity to collaborate internationally on climate resilience strategies and energy transition modeling. What connects my work in organic chemistry and climate and energy system is one principle: science must serve society. Throughout my journey, I have often been in rooms where women were underrepresented. I have balanced research, leadership, and motherhood. I have navigated systems that were not designed with women's realities in mind. But I learned early that leadership is not about volume. It's about competence. It's about preparation, and it's about showing up consistently. If I could offer some reflections to young women in STEM, they would be: first, build strong foundations. Depth of knowledge give you independence. Second, do not limit yourself to the boundaries of your discipline. And third, do not wait for ideal conditions. There will rarely be ideal conditions. If I had waited for perfect infrastructure, I would never have become a chemist. If I had waited for perfect balance, I would never have pursued leadership. And if I had waited for perfect confidence, I would never have stepped into international collaboration. Progress happens when we decide to move forward despite uncertainty. My journey began in an improvised classroom, and it extended from molecular design to sustainability and climate resilience. The scale changed, the responsibility increased, but the mindset remained the same: work hard, stay rigorous, choose impact, and above all, choose to act. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Majlinda. It was so inspirational as all talks we have today. And I wish you all success, because I know that in our countries, Albania and Kosovo, it's difficult to be a great scientist, but we still go on, and all these good and nice models we have today, but not only, are inspirational and keeps the young generation keep going and fighting for having a good career and a successful one. So thanks again, and a happy 8 March.
Thank you.
For you and for all.
Happy Women's Day to all of you.
Yes, thank you. I want to give the floor to Majlinda.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, it's okay.
Actually, thank you very much for giving me a second chance to make my presentation. When dealing with technology, we know that nothing is predictable. And
Majlinda, you have some noise in your, I don't know if maybe you have your phone closed, or I don't know.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, but still that
I think it's a battery or something like this. Sorry. So yes, so thank you very much for giving me the chance to talk. I am very delighted and proud to be here and discuss about the journey, how it started, this group of Albanian women in nanotechnology, what are the mission and vision, and also like to give my talk. So can you please change the slide?
Majlinda, I am so pleased to be short as you can.
Yes. So first of all, I introduce myself. I'm from Albania. I'm from the region of Mat. So it's a really beautiful region with a lot of landscape, tradition, but also from the scientific point of view. And I want to highlight this because my journey starts there, like the desire for technology, for sciences. it was shaped due to the family, but also due to my own ambitions. Then, if we move to the next slide, I will just describe very briefly what was my journey in technology. So basically, I did my studies in Italy, in France, in Switzerland, and US, and now I'm in Belgium. During my studies, I had the possibility to be like in multicultural and diverse groups, to be in to have like very talented professors, highly equipped laboratories. But also I faced a lot of challenges, like all of you, like the language barrier, the economic, social barriers, but also like it was a motivation. And one of the, to move on and achieve my dreams. So it was not like a barrier, but rather like a motivation. But also what I noticed during my studies, and which is also progress at work, is that the presence of women in STEM is really low with respect to the balance women-men. So this remains also throughout my, let's say, career. So let's move to the other slide, please. So as you know, like I had a lot of work, research. I did my PhD in France and postdoc at IMEC in Belgium before joining big tech such as IBM, ARM, which is like a leader in IP, or like Huawei in telecommunication. So all these companies actually gave me the opportunity to be in very good, like, let's say, to be able to put hands-on experience for my research and for my, let's say, publication, or participate in conferences, have my own concepts, so license my own ideas. And also when I discovered that in 2021 there was a conference in nanotechnology, which is related to my field in Albania, I immediately applied. And I could, actually I'm an active member of these conferences, which I try to give also like a part of my research, a part of my progress in research. I'm focused in semiconductors, mainly in memories. So if you think about our memory, the human memory, it's like the best example, and it is where we want to go. But if you think about all the electronic components, such as phones, smartphones, and smartwatch and everything, they have a component which is memory. And what I'm dealing is how to find new like technologies which are compatible with this high demand for storing data, for fast access, and making available also like to share information in a record time. What is interesting is that during these scientific conferences, I got in touch with other Albanian community engineers and part of the STEM, and we were surprised actually that while worldwide there is not so many women, in that conference we were a lot of women. So that's why it's in the next slide. I will now try to explain a bit how the idea of these Albanian women in nanotechnology started. So basically, we were around 50 women, which we got in touch. We started to talk about like our experiences, our background, and we find that we have one thing in common, that we are all Albanian women in nanotechnology with the desire to, can you please switch to the next slide? Yes. So, and we created this volunteering group. Now we count around 150 members, and actually from 50 to 150, I call it also like a success that more women, not totally ours, but that women are joining the field of STEM. And also Albanians are kind of becoming visible towards this field. And we know we have our mission and vision, so we want to bring together women who are involved in nanotech and who share the passion about advanced technology and its application. We want to give the women the right to share their opinion, to give the solutions to worldwide problems such as society, climate, healthcare. But also we want to bring some attention to new generations to come on board, so to become, to pursue a degree and career in the field of nanotechnology. So, as Julia stated, more and more we are becoming mature, and we have our own motto: women support other women, but also women empower women, men empower equality. So women and men are very welcome in our group, and we have also a group in LinkedIn where you are very welcome to join. If I think about the next slide, so basically I will want to explain some of our presence. So we are a very simple group. We have like people who are based in Albania, Kosovo, Macedonia, but also in diaspora. So it's a bit limited, let's say, our time, and but there is a great desire to do things. So this workshop for women is dedicated to a special day, which is the 8th March, because it's the International Day of Women, but also to moms and teachers. So for us, it was a special day, and we choose that this workshop maintains from 2023 up to nowadays, a continuous yearly event. So we want to celebrate together, and actually the topics that we choose are from our daily life, from our job, from our challenges, from our perspective. So they are not out of the blue, but really some topics that reunite us and we want to bring together. For example, starting with 2023, in this case, it's also a bit of photo album because there is a beautiful memory. I'm sorry to not have shared all the pictures of the people, but it's what I could find. And we started with really the simple stuff. What is some good advice, how to balance professional and personal successful career? What are some of the ideas, where to start to promote women in STEM? What can we do different? How is our journey? And this was really the first step that we had towards the second 2024, where we became a bit with a more, let's say, mature topic. So in 2024, in the next slide, we talked about labor. How is the advanced technology changing the labor market? Do we have like more choices? Do we focus on research? Do we focus on industry? Do we keep a trend which is constant? So all this, can you please change the slide? So all this came in the 2024, and in the next slide, we also decided to do an online labor market questionnaire to ask people what is their opinion. And actually we came up also with a smart idea that since we are now in the area of machines, artificial intelligence tools, we compared the 29 participants with also some artificial intelligence tools such as ChatGPT, Gemini, and Microsoft Copilot. And it was very interesting because there is some consistency. So if you want, there are in our website, we have this kind of questions that we ask. But mainly, as we see in the next slide, the main highlights was the importance of women. So both human and non-human agreed that women bring diversity. So they have like other type of seeing the problem, other solutions. So this diversity actually it means new opportunities. Then we had also the labor market is very diverse, and it has like how do you say, an update between the academia, between startups, and between industry. So it's a challenge which is ongoing on. Then in the next slide, we had also the opportunity to go on site. So this is also the last year, the 2025, we became with the topic. So we are in the world of globalization. All of us are spread all around the world. But what we notice is that is nanotechnology a pioneer to preserve identity? So how do we feel this? We have like a lot of technologies such as QR codes, 3D virtual, digital library, holograms. All these are ways that we can use in order to preserve our heritage. But what is, for example, our daily challenges? Are we, like as a researcher, more advantages when we are from a different background, we speak another languages, or is it just barriers? Actually, it was a very interesting topic that we had, and we had very different mindset and different solutions. Then, besides being online, we had, thanks to our promoters, Professor Arben, Professor Clady, Professor Majlinda, and all the group, we could participate also to, thanks also to Phantom, which organized the Nano Balkan conference, and we were, let's say, in person. So our team were met like during online sessions, but during the Nano Balkan, we were also celebrating the women, the diversity that nanotechnology can touch to fields such as medical, healthcare, digital innovation, and actually they are doing also different way of making research, of making business, of making like creating from start to scratch. And we also talk about like nanotech, network, family and friends, men as our biggest support, life beside LabFab, all our challenges, ups and downs of doing research, dreams, teamwork, volunteering, sharing, hard work and determination, dreaming to the top. So Albanian women are not afraid to reach the top. And actually, it's also in line with the presentation, wonderful presentation that we discussed today, because they had like, they touched a bit all this topic. So during NanoBalkan 2024, we discussed about nanotechnology and how it is linked with green technology. We had people from all level of expertise and maturity in the market, so researchers and directors, startup and companies. And actually, next slide, please. It was very beautiful because nowadays we talk about sustainability, about green technology, zero carbon emission, gigafactories, green technology. What are all this? So sometimes it's also good to have people which have hands-on experience and can share some concept which might be a bit, let's say, tough, which might be too innovative, but actually thanks to our community and our network, you could have really people which they come with their own research, with their own expertise, with their own thought, and it was a very good discussion. So besides talking about professional and technical topics, we also are women, and we have a more broadened vision, as you can see in the next slide. For example, one of the we wanted to interact. Can you please switch in the next slide? We wanted to interact with other disciplines such as medicine and discuss about the Pink Month. So basically, we know that the breast cancer is one of the diseases which affects a lot of women, around 2.3 million worldwide, and is the second cause of death. Basically, we had a very good seminar online with experts from medicine, from research, and from, let's say, companies, and they discussed what are some ways to prevent. And also what is the technology, biotechnology, artificial intelligence interacting to make the prevention, detection, and cure more easy. Our mission and vision continues even nowadays. We have a lot of other topics. Can you please move to the next slide? So basically, we want to have a lot of, next slide. So basically, we had also some research. So we see around that there is this nanotechnology is increasing the interest of women, is increasing also their professional career. And for this, we decided to have really in agreement with other groups such as UNESCO or IEEE or European Union, that they have this gender equality in research and innovation. And as you can see in the other slide, we decide to do some metrics, which are for example, in a timeline from 2014 to 2029, we monitor what is this effect. So basically, what are some countries, typology, women ratio versus employees, what are their job positions, what are their number of patents or publications with women in the as first author, and we monitor this trend. So basically, we think that it's good to have a starting point. Maybe we can be also a reference for other people who want to continue and elaborate this with more professional tools. But we decided that we see in our NanoAlb and the Albanian Women in Nanotechnology that there is an impact. So there are a lot of women with a diversity in nanotechnology, and that could be a good example for this study. Of course, I want to jump to the last slide because I think there are also other people who want to discuss, and I'm very happy to hear also their shares. But today I want to wish women happy 8th March. And also, I'm very happy that beside being from different parts of the countries, beside being speaking different languages, time zones, today we found a common language, which is the language of science and technology. And luckily, we are not unaware of the situation right now. This language is something that reunites people. And actually, it's very beautiful to have this community where we can do together, make the dreams come true, because alone maybe we cannot do. So please, now that you are part of the network, keep in touch, and let's be the starting point of greater collaborations in the future. So follow us and be part of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Majlinda. As always, furious, a lot of things to share with us, and I enjoyed it. And I hope all the people present here. So as we're concluding and coming to the end of this session, I would invite everyone to open the camera to have a, let's say, group photo, a virtual one. And thanking again for everyone who talked to this session, but also all the others who has to have their speech later. So it was a great pleasure for me to moderate this session, very interesting one and inspiring also. So please let's have this photo group and leave the floor for the next session as well. So thank you, all of you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Albana.
Are we ready for the picture? Just have it. And maybe I have to remind that the discussion session will be at the end of the whole day. So please stay online. Last call for picture, and I leave the session. Everyone is there or not? Are we done or still have to wait, Julia?
Yes, the majority, yes, we got it. So
okay, thanks a lot. And thanks a lot for Julia for organizing, and a special thank to you because it was, I know, it was very demanding, but
thank
it comes beautifully.
Valbonaliko, and we apologize because we are a bit, not a bit, but quite late because of the discussion part that now we are going to let it all in the end, but we are trying to respect also the others' commitment that I know that everyone is busy. So now I give the floor to the other moderator, that is Professor Albana Lili, that is the Deputy Rector from the Eastern Balkans University. Please, Professor Albana.
Thank you, Julia. I maybe very shortly introduce myself and then give the floor to our first speaker. I'm Albana with an expertise mostly on biomaterials and tissue engineering, and happy to see that persons which are in my session are also somehow, I mean, most of them are related to this area, so it's a good opportunity to talk about this later on as well. So not letting time to talk about myself, it's a pleasure to invite our first speaker of the session, Professor Bracco, coming from University of Turin with a great experience on polymer science and technology, and the talk is named Materials that Move Lives, a Career in Biomedical Polymer Research and Beyond. Professor, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Let me try to share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks to the organizer for having me here today. I'm very happy to participate to this meeting. So I'm a bit embarrassed. I'm going to after such inspiring talks, I'm just going to share with you a short research story, a research story which is my research story over the past 25 years with a small women touch. Anyway, you'll see. So the story I'm going to tell you is that of polyethylene in arthroplasty. You might know that arthroplasty is a surgery procedure aiming at restoring the function of joints, and this often includes the implant of an artificial joint. And all the artificial joints, such as those you see here, or the majority of them at least, as this tiny white liner here, which is made in polyethylene, in a particular kind of polyethylene, which is ultra-molecular weight polyethylene. And as you might know, polyethylene is the most diffused synthetic polymers globally. And the idea of using polyethylene has a variety of different applications, and the idea of using this kind of polyethylene in this application came to Sir John Charley, which is who was a British surgeon, and he started experimenting polyethylene in this application around the 60s, and it worked. So in the next years, from the 60s on, the number of procedures including polyethylene have been continuously increasing, and this means that this is continuously involving a growing number of patients. And at the time when I was a young master student, we were facing, with increasing number of the procedure, we were facing a big problem. This problem, many of our polyethylene liners ended up like those. And when a liner ends up like this, the only solution is revision. So it's a huge cost in terms of patient quality of life, decreased quality of life, and also a huge economic cost. So this was a real important problem at, let's say, at the end of the 90s or beginning of the 2000s. So we started studying the problem, and it was immediately clear that it was a matter of polymer degradation. It wasn't a matter of insufficient polymer properties, but the polymer was degraded. So we started to investigate what was going on, and it was more or less immediately clear that the problem was not the material itself, as I told you, but the sterilization procedure. Of course, polyethylene for being implanted in the human body should be sterilized, and sterilization is carried out with high energy radiation. And this leads to a process that we call oxidative degradation. Basically, I don't want to go too deep into details, but basically the high energy radiation can break the polymer chains, so then the products of this breakage can react with oxygen, and this trigger an oxidation cycle. The process is a cycle, and so it auto-sustains, and the ultimate effect is a decrease in molecular weight, and high molecular weight is exactly one of the characteristics for which this polyethylene behaves so well in this application. And so this leads to a decrease in wear resistance and mechanical properties, and which in turn leads to delamination, embrittlement, and failures such as those we have seen in the previous slides. So the point was, okay, do we have any solution? And we start searching for solution, producing, as you can see, quite a huge amount of paperwork. And finally, luckily, we found solutions. And when I say we, I don't mean myself nor my group alone, but the whole biomedical polyethylene community. There's a pretty active community spread all around the world on polyethylene, doing research in polyethylene. And so the solution where we found different solutions. The simplest one probably was, okay, just use radiation sterilization in low oxygen environments, since we know that oxygen has such an important part in the process. Just use radiation sterilization under vacuum or inert gas. But we have more ambitious, more safe solutions. And one of these, the the principle was to use stabilizer. It's pretty common to use stabilizers in polymers and in polyolefins in particular, but since this is a human contacting application, at the time, any additive was forbidden it was forbidden to use any additive in our polyethylene. So even if we had a biocompatible stabilizer, which is vitamin E, which is a natural antioxidant working in our body as an antioxidant, it was pretty difficult to pass from the theory to practice. I'm gonna talk about it in a while. And then we also went a bit further, and we proposed treatments, cross-link treatments, with the aim of further increasing the molecular weight of the polymer, so further enhancing, increasing his wear resistance. But as I told you, the most difficult step of all the story was to translate research into practice, to translate all the paperwork into something practical, a product that really increase the quality of life of our patients. And this was particularly difficult, especially because this is, like many other, this is a really multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary field. So there are a lot of different professionals that needs to talk to each other and to understand each other, possibly talking the same language. And believe me, this was really the most difficult aspect of the whole work. But luckily, this is an happy end story, because finally we succeed, and the polyethylene has improved a lot. And as you see, for example, the UK National Joint Registry says that there have been a 50% reduction in revisions in the last 20 years. So this is a sort of proof that something is going better. And since we are talking about women in STEM, I'm so happy to mention that it all started with a woman, or at least for me, my involvement in this field started with a woman. This lady is Professor Elena Brack-del-Perver. She used to be an orthopedic surgeon at our orthopedic trauma hospital, which is one of the 3 most important trauma centers in Italy. And she is a very peculiar person, and she was so committed to her patients' feelings, and she couldn't upset the problem of polyethylene. So it was her initiative. She went out looking for a material scientist for understanding what was going on, and she ended up in our lab, and that gave origin to a very long and very profuse collaboration. And she also was very, very attentive to the importance of dissemination. So it was, again, another initiative of her to start a conference in Torino. The first conference was given here in Torino in 2003, a conference on this aspect, on this problem, to raising awareness of her fellow colleagues on the problem of polyethylene and on the solutions and on the importance of the choice of the right materials for this application. And I'm pretty proud to say that the conference that started at the time is still alive. It has traveled all around the world, and the next edition will be in next June in Philadelphia. So that's it. I thank you for your attention, and I'm available for any discussion.
Thank you, Professor. If you would allow, we would leave the questions for the end of the session, if it's okay for you. It was really nice, and I really find some common points as well to discuss maybe with you. We will have a slight change in our second speaker as she will have to leave. So we will switch now to the second speaker. She is Dr. Ziema Arakelian, a dedicated medical oncologist. She is currently the CEO of the Institute of Cancer and Crisis, and also the Deputy CEO of the Immune Oncology Research Institute. And she will hold a talk about the benefit of cancer patients, how to navigate a career between clinic, lab, and community. Very nice, very interesting topic. So the floor is yours, please.
Thank you so much. It's a true honor and pleasure to be here today. And also thanks Julie for her invitation and Albana for her kind introduction. So I'm Ziema Arakelian. I'm medical oncologist with my training, and I did my PhD in chemistry. That's what I'm going to talk a bit. I have been asked to tell a bit about my journey and what I did and what I'm doing. So I'm coming originally from Armenia, and Armenia is, I'm sure you know where is Armenia. It's a small country in Caucasus region, and the fact that I mentioned about Armenia, we are very old Christians, first country in the world to adopt Christianity as a state religion, so we have really old and ancient monasteries. So here I like to show some of my favorite Armenians, and when I was choosing these people, I noticed that all of them are men. And then I felt like that there is this issue that you are addressing today is really very, very important. It's not that we didn't have enough talented Armenian women, I'm more than sure, just they have not been as represented as men. So my journey started in Yerevan State Medical University after Makitar Heratsi, where I completed my medical degree, and then I did my residency in oncology in Yoyan Hematology and Oncology Center that belongs to Ministry of Health of Armenia. And there I was introduced to my lifelong mentor, Professor Tamamian. And then I continued my studies in Harvard Medical School, where I first I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship and be included in high impact cancer research program. And there I met my PhD supervisor, Professor Babak, who introduced me to Hong Kong fellowship scheme. And then she was moving from Singapore to Hong Kong by that time to start her lab. And her research focus is anti-cancer drug discovery. And she suggested me to join her lab, and I was very much into research. And that's how it happened that I moved to Hong Kong and I did my research in chemistry department. And now I am affiliated with the University of Hong Kong, and I work with Professor Chiming Che, who is a true pioneer in bioinorganic chemistry. And currently my role here is to translate his science into clinical applications. So we are running now clinical trials, mainly in mainland of China, and testing our new metal-based complexes for cancer patients. So I want to go a bit into details, but I'll try to keep it short. So during my clinical experience, so my clinical experience shaped my why, I would say, because when I graduated, the head of my department, he decided that I feel by that time I'll need a group of young adult solid tumors. And when you work with young adults, it can be really frustrating as a young, fresh graduate, because when cancer comes early, usually it's aggressive, it's rare, it's advanced stage. Like in two of my lovely cancer patients that I got their permission to share their pictures during my presentations. And these are two cases that drove my motivation to move into research, because it's hard when you are trying to help your patients and then you can't have available options and therapies for them. And he's where I decided to move into research, and I started my PhD program in cancer drug discovery in Hong Kong. So it was not easy, and for many different reasons, and we discussed so many different reasons today by other speakers as well, how it's hard to navigate when you are a mother, when you are a woman, when you are culturally in a completely different place where you don't understand the language with a complete different background. And then Catherine told how weird she felt being not white in a white environment. And sometimes I felt really weird being like not Asian in very Asian environment. So these are challenges that I encountered, but and obviously it was not easy to do research, basic research, vet lab for a medical practitioner, because in our university, and I am not sure how is the case in other universities, but when you are trained as a doctor, they don't really teach you much about basic research, about bench experience. We have some courses that teach us about research, but it's mainly focuses clinical, not very basic and lab stuff. So, but I would say I was fortunate because I was one of the very first students of my supervisor. So she took her time. She explained me every detail and how research should be done, and starting from introducing me to pipettes and tips. And then I would say it was a very rewarding journey, which led to more than 20 publications at the end. And of course, the highlight was the Lindau meeting where I met Julie and many other beautiful young scientists. So besides what I told about my research part, what I do, I am also the CEO of the Institute of Cancer and Crisis. And just a few words, what we do in our institute, it's about raising awareness about barriers to cancer prevention, diagnosis in crisis-affected settings. And crisis can look different. It can be war, it can be natural disaster, it can be, let's say, COVID-19. And what we are trying to do, we are trying to address these issues through advocacy and through research. And you can check our publications in our webpage. And also we are quite active in working and collaborating with other international organizations like WHO. We work closely with OncoDaily, and we organized the first summit on war and cancer, which brought together policymakers and medical oncologists and also advocates, and this resulted to very powerful publication in the Lancet, where we gave some useful recommendations how to navigate cancer patients in the times of in the time of war. And now we are in the process of organizing a second conference on war and cancer, which will be in a hybrid mode held in Cairo, Egypt. So currently I'm in clinical translational work, and I see my future. Basically, I want to bridge this gap between academia and academia and clinical work. That's why I went into research first of all, and that's how I see me in the future as well. I see myself in clinic working with cancer patients and in a very interdisciplinary way, and trying new cancer medicine. And you, like amazing scientists, you are doing all the great work, and hopefully I'm going to help all of you to translate your science into clinical work, especially when it comes to cancer research. So thanks again, and I'm very happy and open to collaborate. You can add me on LinkedIn, email me, or WhatsApp me. Always happy to connect and share perspectives. Thank you.
Thank you, Jima. Very nice talk and very inspiring, actually. You reminded me of the time when I was doing my cell culture studies. I used to bring my son sometimes in the lab and telling him, please don't touch, it's toxic. However, my fear was that some contamination would happen and my 6 months work would go. So yeah, it's not easy to be a mother at the same time and dealing with research, but I think if we have a goal and want to achieve whatever we can face, I mean, if we want, I think we can achieve it in a time. Thank you very much. So I think we'll leave if there are questions for the.
Yes, she's also a mother of 2 kids, not only one. Just to thank you very much, Gemma, for being here and for this inspiring talk.
Thank you. I just showed
But
the
since
young
Gemma is leaving,
without me. So I needed to bring him with me to lab, and at some point he became a lab kid. So my colleagues would look after him when I was checking my mice.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I've done the same thing. Yeah. And once he even told me, "Look, Mama, they are not toxic. They are cells. Why are you telling me that they are toxic?" Yeah, it's funny at the same time, but it's nice to have this experience. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I guess you are leaving, and maybe if there is some specific question, we can have some. But is there any question?
I'm so sorry. I just need to go after my kids. Otherwise, I'm enjoying this event so much, but I can't stay longer.
Okay, I think we will find somehow a way to contact you. So thank you very much for being part of this initiative and this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gemma.
So,
Professor Albana, sorry, just while I'm opening the screen of the other speakers, just because before I was having some problems, so I couldn't open also the flyer of Professor Bracco, and so we just introduced very briefly that she is a full professor at the Department of Chemistry and University of Turin, where I also work and where she supported me since the first day I joined this group. So thank you very much, Professor Bracco, and sorry for this technical mistake. So now I
no problem at all.
Okay, so shall we go for the third speaker? I mean, again, it's a pleasure.
Albana, for interrupting you.
Yeah, it's okay. A pleasure again to invite our third speaker. It's Anastasia Anceski, if I'm pronouncing it right, with again expertise in. She's a material scientist. With most of the focus, as I see, is on textile, but of course also a focus on promoting innovation and sustainability, which is a challenge that we have actually in terms of bringing science into clinics or product-oriented research. So, Anastasia, the floor is yours. Thank you for being part of the workshop.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me in this very inspiring event. Now I'm trying to share my screen.
Yes, I'm just, again, I think I'm having.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Can you see only the presentation? No, maybe?
Yes, if you can do it full screen.
This one is okay? Oops, no. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good morning to everyone. I'm Anastasia Anceski, and today I would like to share with you my path through the sustainability, starting from polymer science and ending to the textile sustainability. My journey through this, to the sustainability started in 2014 when I got my master's degree, and then I started my PhD. And I work a lot on biopolymers and also in valorization of bio-waste, transforming them in carbon materials. And also I explore the use of starch waste as building blocks for the synthesis of biopolymers. After my PhD, I moved to the CNR. The CNR is the National Research Council, and it is the biggest public research entity in Italy. It has different branches. One of them is located in Biella. So I moved to the STIMA CNR in Biella. Biella is called the wool city or the textile city. And so my journey in the sustainability continue in the textile sector, in particular on the sustainability of the textile sector. We know that the European Union is trying to reshape the textile industry through ambitious new legislation, demanding transparency and accountability across the entire supply chain. So the European Union introduced two new key tools. One is the digital product passport. So in this case, every product, textile product must carry a digital record of its material, origin, and environmental and social footprint. The other one is the extended producer responsibility. In this case, the producer takes the responsibility of the end of life of its product, from the collection, the sorting, and the recycling. I work a lot on try to create some guidelines, some standardized frameworks for gathering all the information, environmental and social information across the supply chain. Specifically, I work on the recycling of textile. The first question in recycling is, what is a textile waste? We can have different kinds of textile waste. The first one are called the pre-consumer waste. Typically are unsold productions, collections. Or we can have post-industrial waste, scraps from processing. And yeah, the last one, the most challenging, are the post-consumer waste. So every dresses, clothes, blankets, trousers, everything that has been used by someone. As you know, the materials, the fibers used for making a textile products are various, are from different origin. They could be natural fibers, artificial fibers, or other kind of fibers, novel fibers. There are a lot of options. So, and all of these fibers should be recycled in a proper way, using and sending them to a proper hub. How we can do this? The first idea was to create a dedicated bin for each kind of fiber. So we can have a bin for the polyester, one for the cotton, one for the wool, one for the nylon. But how many bins should we have? Too many. So the idea is to collect all the post-consumer waste in one bin and then sort them by material. But how we can know which kind of fiber has been used for a textile? We can read the composition tag. For example, in this case, it's very easy because the composition tag says that these, I think, trousers are made of 100% of polyester. But typically, the textile products is not made by only one fiber, but many fibers are blended together for giving to the product specific properties. For example, in this case, we have 4 different kinds of fibers, and in the other case, we have 3 kinds of fibers. Moreover, sometimes the composition tag is removed by the clothes, by the user. So how we can know the composition of this material? Actually, only 1% of clothing is currently recycled in new garments. The solution now is to collect all the textile products and then send it to the developing countries where the collection is made by them, and then these kind of waste are or burned or buried. Just for having an idea, this is the problem. It's a very, very huge problem. And also the sorting is not made automatically by a device, but is made by human, in particular by women. Indeed, the garment industry provides job to around 94 million workers globally, and it is estimated that between 60–80% of global garment workers are women. We know that in fashion and in textile sector, many women are designers, have launched successful fashion brands and textile businesses, but in many developing countries, garment workers are women that work in very harsh conditions, with monthly wages around $40–70 per month. And also many of the women migrate from rural area to cities far from their family, And so and this situation make them more vulnerable to exploitation and abuse by their supervisor. I try to do my best for changing this situation. For example, we try to create automatic device for the recognition of fibers. We work on the upcycling of textile waste, for example, for wool waste or for polyester and elastan blended polymers. But also we are trying to focus that it is possible to assess the sustainability in the textile sector because we have some tools for doing this. For example, we have the LCA, the LCC, and the SLCA. So thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Anastasia. Very nice, very interesting. I mean, and it's a very important issue, actually, the recycling of textiles. So I wish really good success in terms of products as well in the future. Okay, so let us switch to the other speaker. She is Sejal Arwish. And she is a PhD researcher which works on polymer electrodes for lithium-ion battery applications with a common IC PhD between Germany and USA. And she's going to give a talk on these electrolytes for lithium-ion batteries, a step towards better and safer energy. The floor is yours, Sejal.
Thank you so much for a nice introduction, and hi everyone from my side. Let me share the screen. Okay, I can start. Hi again from my side. I'm glad to be part of this workshop, who is making the women more recognizing in different fields. To just a brief phases of my continuous journey, like in 2013, I have completed my schooling phase, like with distinction, got the award from Middle East for people standing first. And since like childhood, I've been curious for science. Then I pursue my studies as pre-medical studies because I want to be a doctor. But I got the Student of Year award. But 6 times I got rejection for entry tests to get into the medical colleges, but I didn't get disappointed, thought to pursue my career in another direction, and chemistry was my favorite subject. So I did graduation in 2017 with the Award of Excellence. And then in 2019, I started my career in chemistry, did masters from QAU Islamabad, Pakistan, and been awarded with 2 distinct medals on securing first position in whole university among all departments and also in chemistry department. Then in 2022, I completed my Master of Philosophy in Physical Chemistry, being awarded with Vice Chancellor Gold Medal. And then in 2023, I thought to do a PhD, but my professor in Pakistan said me that you are not right person to pursue your career here, but you have to expose yourself to the international exposures. So therefore, I applied in different countries, got admitted at different places, but decided to pursue this project in Germany. And that was totally start of new phase of my life. And still I am on continuity of the journey. And I think so I will keep continuing, because destination only belongs to those who get tired. But for those people who always keep desiring and have curious nature, have a continuous journey in their lives, and education research is that sort of journey for me. Polymer electrolytes for lithium-ion batteries, that is a major step towards better and safer energy. I have worked on this project by exploring the role of lithium ions, a very small element in the periodic table, but play a great role in energy sector. So briefly, what is my motivation behind this project? As we know that lithium-ion batteries power everything from smartphone to electric vehicles, and it's a step for clean energy transition. And recent reports from ID Tech has shown that in the next 10 years, there will be a continuous increase in demand of lithium-ion batteries. And one of the main important component of the battery is electrolyte, on which I am working. Maybe some of you know that they are conventional lithium-ion batteries, liquid electrolytes, but they have some disadvantages like safety issues and thermally unstable. So therefore, we are in research to replace them with the other sort of materials that have the low flammability or more thermal stability, like ionic liquid electrolytes. But in these type of electrolytes, we also have some limitations. That is because of strong lithium-ion correlations and clusters formation. Therefore, we have to think about solutions that can overcome these limitations, and these are additives, some polymers, and zwitterionic materials. Among this, I have used this zwitterionic polymeric materials. So important results from my research finding are this small element lithium that plays a major role in lithium-ion batteries, have dual roles like as mobile charge carriers, as well as important for formation of the crosslinks that make the battery mechanically more durable. And the final message and career paths for women in this field, they're like energy transition needs more perfect batteries, and polymer electrolytes are the materials that can make the batteries more safer and more sustainable. This work has been published and also like been selected as editor's choice in the ACS journal because of the broad interest of the audience. And the paths that women can pursue in this field is academia or battery industry or some energy storage companies or material research institutes. Some accomplishments can't be achieved alone, so there are a lot of people with me on this continuing journey. And I would first acknowledge my professor Monica Schonhoff from University of Münster and all other working group, and Professor Penzer Aisha from Tufts University, USA, and all my scientific connections and all friends that have met in different meetings and different conferences, friends, family, and my parents, especially my mother, and different organizations that are supporting me, like Lindau Meeting, Baden-Württemberg International Ministry of Research, BASF, Bayer Foundation, DFG, NSF, Exposure to Ampere, NMR schools, and battery symposiums, and Bakara Research Center, and also the this platform who are organizing this, NanoAlb. Thank you for invitation and making me part of this beautiful event. Thank you all.
No, thank you very much, Sejal. So great timing and great messages given to the audience. And it was surprising to me in the last slide, I see one of my friends, we studied with Professor Aisha together. She's now in Tufts University, so say hi to her when you see her.
Okay.
So great to see that you have this collaboration as well. I think this session is done, Julia, right? So shall we continue?
Thank you very much, Professor Albana, for this great session and all the talks. Thank you so much, Sajal, and they were all inspiring talks. Now I give the floor to Professor Mimosa Basholli-Salihu, fantastic professor, another one that makes our pride, and she is from the University of Pristina, Kosovo. The floor is yours, Professor Mimosa.
Hello, everyone. I am Mimosa Basholli. As Julia said, I'm from University of Pristina. I'm head of Department of Pharmaceutical Technology at the Faculty of Medicine. And before I present the new invited speaker, I would like just to say that I believe in work and life balance. So even if we inspire the women to work hard, we should inspire them to enjoy their life as well. So I have a pleasure to give a floor to invited speaker, Ms. Fatih Naid Vakamula Ragu. Julia, did you have a chance to share, or I can share?
I can share my screen as well. Okay. Or if you'd like to put up the full advertisement, you absolutely can. But I think for the sake of time, maybe I can just go on with my slide. You've seen my face already.
I will put it on there. Yes, you can go. Yes, I have it ready, in fact.
Go for it then. I will wait.
Ms. Fatih is a doctor engineering, is a scientist in the Department of Chemistry and Biology at the University of Chicago. What was interesting for me, I see that she leads the junior research group on chemistry and structure of novel materials. So the floor is yours.
Again, I'm having issues, so you can go ahead.
Thank you, both of you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. So all good. All right. Bear with. I've got a bit of a bad voice, but I think you shall be able to hear me better now. Can you see my screen? Presentation view now.
Yes, now, yes, we can see.
Wonderful. Okay, great. Just for the sake of brevity, what I'll do is minimize all the pleasantries and perhaps even trim my storytelling. So quick shout out to everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It means quite a lot. When you see a long list of speakers and then you're like, what are you doing here, right? Like, I'm not even a professor yet. And thank you for saying that seeing junior group leader was nice. Well, we try. The title of this talk is called Turning Curiosity into a Career, which I honestly think is a fancy way of saying I make a lot of mistakes, but I find out eventually. And perhaps I could also tell you about what I do in science, but you can easily find that information online. Instead, I'm going to share with you what I really think about when I'm navigating science. And for that, we can move on right into the talk. Okay. Objectively, science tends to be one of the most objective things, right? We oftentimes use it to appeal to rationale. And more often than not, it tends to do a lot of data accumulation, and then data accumulation is often reduced to statistics. But then if you look at me, you look at yourself, and we look at pretty much people, not just in the STEM field, but all over the world, you realize that people are not just statistics. They're pretty much more than anything that are just statistics, right? We're not just data. You're essentially memories, your variables, your equations, your entanglements, you're pretty much everything other than just a statistic. So in reality, we are the center of our own universes, and we are the story. And this is why it's super important to listen to voices, because each one of us, no matter how small or how loud we are, we have a voice. And the more people can hear it, the better we can feel as a community. So in order to continue my story, as part of the story, I'd like to tell you about something that's really interesting that happened to me a few months ago. So it's a charge sheet, and I say it's a charge sheet because I'm quite into crime fiction, and it's fun to read crime fiction for me. So what was my biggest crime? Being born a female. No, I'm just kidding. Right, so you know, I'm Swathi, I'm identifying as female. I'm an engineer by training. I went on to do a PhD. In material sciences, I also had my bachelor's and my master's also in material sciences. Of course, there's a lot more jargon to that. But my real crime in the recent years has been applying for fellowships, which is specifically the Walter Benjamin Fellowship, which is a DFG grant. So you're supposed to apply for this within a 2-year period of your PhD. So you finished your PhD, and right within your first postdoc, before you turn 33 years old, you need to do this. And God forbid, if you finished your PhD a little later, then no matter how talented you are, you know, you just cannot apply, which I find counterintuitive, because our timelines can never be the same, because we're all coming from different parts of the world. Our journeys are different, but such is the law, and I follow the rules. Righto. So this fellowship is apparently a mobility fellowship, and I got some really nice reviews. I'm not going to pretend that they were bad reviews, not at all. They were sweepingly positive. So you can imagine why I was surprised when I saw this verdict, which was, oh, fantastic novelty. No one has ever done what you're doing. But we don't think we can give you the money because we don't believe that you can move out of your lab and do something else, because you show no interest to develop your career. And now you might be like, oh, but that's a fairly common review to people. But to me, this was a bit of an irony. In fact, it was like an elephant in the room. You do see an elephant on the screen, don't you? Now I'll tell you why that elephant is super relevant. To give you some context, I was born in India. I was raised all over the country. Every 2 years I moved because my parents had that kind of a job, right? And then I was like, okay, I'm an independent person. I'm going to move. So I moved about 2,500 kilometers away from where my parents lived to pursue my engineering studies. Then I got a bit bored, and then I said, okay, I'm going to go to Germany and do some research projects. So I did that in the south of Germany, closer to Switzerland. Right after that, I was like, okay, maybe I can do a master's. So from the south of Germany, I moved to Bavaria. Yeah, that place where everyone drinks way too much beer. So where Oktoberfest is. So you've gone waywards towards the east, right? From there, I did my master's in an elite program, got honors degree, very well, all good. Then I said, okay, maybe I should do a PhD. From there, I went all the way close to Northwest Rhine-Pfalz, which is much closer to Belgium than it is to Bavaria, right? And that's where I did my PhD. And in between all of this, and in fact, after all of this, what I did do was move to Japan, Poland, Belgium, and you name it. I have peers and research stays and publications with all of these people from at least 3 continents, 4 if you include the Americas as itself. But that being said, you would think that, this person does seem to travel a bit, right? Like, come on, if that's not true, if you can see the elephant now, yeah, I guess we're getting there. So now, to top it all off, I did something very interesting. I married a man from a completely different country. Tell me about mobility, right? I go see him every 2 weeks. He lives in Belgium. Wonderful man. God bless his heart. That being said, I feel like I'm doing a decent amount of mobility. And if you still don't believe me, why this is indeed the irony of the matter is that, look at me. I'm a person of color. So it's fair to say that at least up to 4 generations of my ancestors were not born on this continent. So long story short, I did what every normal person does. I looked at the review and I said, nobody likes your reviewer too. And then told myself that, Swathi, you can't keep hating him or her. I mostly think it's a him. Anyway, you can't keep hating on them. So like a rational person, after 30 minutes of crying about it, I was like, hang on a minute. A lot of things were said in this report that were super positive. Why am I focusing on the one comment? Well, because that's why I didn't get the money. But anyway, so I looked at the feedback and I took it in good faith and I realized what my Achilles heel was. But the bigger revelation was the fact that it's my heel, right? And the second thing is we have free will. Oftentimes we forget that. Pretty much to call back at what Fedria said and also what Melinda said, we're not victims of fate. We could choose to move. We're not trees. We don't have to necessarily be stuck in one place. We can also kind of just move, right? And so I said, you know what? This is my foot and I'm going to turn right on it and go in a different direction. Now, to some people that would sound like, oh, but you know, where's the catch in this? But the true reason is that my redirection is more about alignment. It's not really about approval. I didn't need to prove beyond measure about whether my ability to move around and show mobility and the fact that I know how to adapt and collaborate is necessary anymore. I just needed a completely different grant. Needless to say, of course, I got the other grant. But anyway, the point is, you do something, you see if it works. If it doesn't, oops, move next. Now you could say, why is this so easy to say than to do? Well, that's because you have to try till you do, right? That being said, I have a small strategy for all of us to try whenever you're bored. You know, it's called notice, refocus, realign. I said this to myself all the way back in 2016 when I was already dealing with a lot of things. And why this becomes really easy to do is because a lot of people tend to already do this. But I think as women, we tend to have superpowers when it comes to having gut feelings, intuitions, a third sense. And why refocus is so easy for us, because look at your average lives. You do scheduling, you manage tasks, you juggle ecosystems from friends, family, dinners, meals, grants, exercise. There is so much that is already happening. All you have to do is take a moment and be like, I got this, you know? And then, of course, realign, because we're not trees. We can genuinely move. And also some physics, right? Because direction does beat momentum, because it's something in a channelized way. So yeah, you can't be against the laws of physics now, can you? That would just be silly. That being said, it brings me to my most important thing, which is that do not ever be afraid of redirection, because I'm here and I got invited to this interesting conference. So yeah, that's already pretty good for me in my books. And what's most important to remember is that statistics oftentimes only measure performance, not your worth. And it's important that we take a moment and say, I am worth it. And I know it sounds like a yoga class, but it's all right. If you don't believe me, trust me, because there's a shampoo bottle that literally tells all of us that because you're worth it. So yeah, believe in yourself, make that redirection, because we're not trees. And yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody. Faleminderit shumë. So for all the Albanian speakers, I hope this was correct. And thank you so much. And I hope I've kept good time. Ellie, thank you.
Thank you very much, Swati. You were so kind and so inspiring, especially for a young woman. I have a student here
Thank you so
listening
much.
to all these very inspiring women here.
You are so lovely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Redirection is always a solution. So we do not have to give up. So every time we can find a solution. We just need to ask for a support, not to wait for a support. So we just have to fight for it. Thank you very much for your inspiring speech.
Thank you so
now
much.
It's time.
Mimosa, just sorry for interrupt. Just to keep fair as well, Swati, here is your flyer, and I already told it to you, to Albanian community, and to Turin. I keep saying, don't trust me too much as a leader. You see, I was right.
You are very kind.
I think that I have shared the flyer of Swati, I think.
Yes, and I knew that you'll do more than one slide when you told me yesterday, so thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And you spelled it correctly. Very well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Now it's time for Bayram Shahe Shkodra as an invited speaker. She is a researcher and at University of Basel, München, Germany. So the floor is yours, Bayram Shahe.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, Bulia, go ahead.
Okay, give me a second. You see my screen?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Professor Basholi Saliu, for presenting me. Thank you so much, the organizing committee, for this nice event and inviting me. I'm very happy to talk today about the biosensing, label-free biosensing, but also to take you into my journey in the academia. So all started for me back in 2012 when I started my bachelor studies at the University of Pristina, and then I continued there for my master's studies also. I concluded my master's studies with a thesis at Umeå University in Sweden, where I worked in the ion chromatography, and then decided to come back in Kosovo and work for a year at a pharmaceutical company. I worked there as an analytical chemist for about a year, and then I saw that this work is kind of repetitive. I wanted to challenge myself with a PhD. Therefore, I enrolled at the University of the Free University of Bolzano in a food engineering and biotechnology program, where I did my PhD working on biosensors. During that time, I spent around 6 months at the ETH Zurich at the Laboratory of Biosensors and Biotechnology to even expand more my knowledge in the biosensors. After that, I came back in Italy and worked as a postdoc for about 2 years in memory-stive devices in collaboration with the EPFL Lausanne. And then since 2004 and until now, I'm part of the Institute of Physics in the University of Bundeswehr in Munich, where I am leading a subgroup into the biosensors. Now I will try to walk you through what I have been doing in the last years. During my PhD studies, I have worked with both electrochemical and electrolyte-gated field effect transistors for the detection of biogenic amine in food samples. During this time, I have worked with carbon nanotubes, which I use as electroactive materials for both platforms, and I worked in the detection of histamine and spermidine, both of them being food toxicants. Again, in Bolzano, in collaboration with EPFL, we developed these memory-stive devices now for the detection of prostate-specific antigen, which is a known biomarker for cancer patients. Developing this platform now with a blend of polymers P.PSS and PVA, we have successfully detected PSA in the clinical relevant range, as you see here in this calibration curve. Starting then from 2024, I am now in Munich, where the group that I work on is focused in the growth of 2D materials, in different 2D materials. I work mainly with the graphene growth, transfer, and functionalization. We do grow our graphene ourselves in the chemical vapor deposition oven at a high temperature, 1060 degrees Celsius, where we have our copper inside of the oven and use methane as a precursor. What we do afterwards is that right after we grow graphene into the copper, we functionalize with the pyrrolines. This is done for two reasons. First of all, to protect the graphene from the impurities of the ambient. And the second of all, the pyrroline has a lot of carboxylated group, which later we use to functionalize our material and turn it into a biosensor. After growth and functionalization, we have all these steps and finally bring the graphene into the substrate of the interest. Using this technology, then we fabricate, for example, electroagated field effect transistor and functionalize them with different biorecognition elements for the detection of different analytes. One project that I'm working on is on the Vital Sense project, and this project deals with the detection of the cortisol, which is a very important biomarker for the stress or mental health problems. What we do here is to functionalize our graphene devices with antibody fragments and then check the cortisol levels. Using this strategy, using our electroagated graphene field effect transistors, we have successfully detected the cortisol both in 1x ppb, a buffer solution, and also in artificial sweat. Importantly, this sensor shows a nice selectivity also toward other analytes such as serotonin. For those of you who are more familiar with biosensors, usually all the studies end up with controlling our device only in a buffer or in artificial medium, such as, for example, artificial sweat, and rarely they show demonstration into the real solution. What we did here is also to use these devices to measure cortisol in real human saliva. Furthermore, we have evaluated our sensors with a gold standard technique such as ELISA. As you see here in the graphs, in the cortisol evening samples, we have a very nice correlation between our device and ELISA gold standard technique, versus at a high cortisol concentration in the morning, we still have a correlation, but we need to work in order to improve the response of our device. Trying to be on the time, I conclude my talk. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Very short, very clear, very inspiring. Thank you, Bayram Shohe. It's very good work. I wish you very good luck. It's very interesting research work you are doing. So hopefully in the future we can make some networks together or collaboration with our students as well. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Please feel free to contact me in email or LinkedIn. We're happy to collaborate. Thank you.
Yeah, we have very interested students who wants to collaborate as well. So we will be in touch. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Now we have to switch the speaker. Now we have the invited speaker, Carmen Popescu from Rocket USA. She finished her...
Please let me talk. I don't have presentation. So I'll present myself, okay?
Okay, you will present. Okay, then it's easier.
It's easier, yes.
Thanks a lot.
Because I didn't know exactly that I have to prepare something, okay, like this with slides and so on. And I was thinking it's more like TED Talks, okay? I'll use my personal charm to charm you ladies.
Okay. I see that your CV is very interesting. That's why I started to present it.
No. I'll tell you, life is simple and can be simple or complicated. It depends on you, okay? On the paper looks very sophisticated, very too many achievements. But in real life, I'm a regular woman, okay? So let's see what this regular woman can do, okay? So I have to start my timer to make sure I'm not boring you more than I say 7 minutes, because I have to leave some time for other comments. Okay, so I was born in Romania during the communism. during Ceausescu. Everybody knows about Ceausescu and Nadia Comaneci in Romania. Okay, so big issue is the fact that many people are complaining about communists, but I was born in the right moment. You know, it's like in a realtor situation, location, location, location. For me, it was time, time, time. Good time, good school. And you'll be surprised, I went to physics school and everybody tried to deter me. Why do you go to physics? My friends, and you know who is the most hated person in the high school? Is our physics teacher. And so, do you want to be hated? No. Okay, so physics was for me the bread and butter because that was the result of the fact that I had a very good physics teacher. And he was teaching mathematics, physics, chemistry. Now, and he was sort of tutoring us all the time because in communist teachers didn't have other jobs. Their pride was in how many of their students are going to college, how many are qualifying for Olympics in mathematics, physics, chemistry. So, can you see? Very good time. But I don't say the communism was very good, but education-wise was really very good. And now here I am. I go to physics school, so I got a bachelor degrees. Where I'm going to go next step? Everybody in this meeting was wondering their trajectory. So my thesis for bachelor degree was laser investigation with microwave. Very sophisticated topic, but what I realized, it is a very crowded space. Too many intelligent people, too many how can I say, obstacles to go above, okay? So you are a woman, you know, you have always to have behind your subconscious that you are a woman. So let's see. And in physics, we were 130 something students and only 3 girls. So can you see? It's clear for a man career. And then I was thinking, okay, so if I want to succeed, I should go somewhere at the border where no physicist, or there aren't so many physicists, keep my physics background and see what is happening. And that came, biophysics is the best field. Okay, I didn't want to become a physician. I didn't want to be a chemist or biochemist. I wanted to be a physicist. And that was good because my instincts were good. Now, not easy to survive there. Always, I've seen when I was once in visiting my father's office, he has a motto, give to your boss more than the boss expects, and you'll be free and successful. And I was very young when I read that motto, but then I realized I don't have to say, I am this good, look, I publish it. No, I have to make people recognize me, but I have to be quiet. So that was my way. Doing work. Even my husband, say we had to, he was in Akademia already, and he went to Edinburgh University for 2 years and say, okay, so you are interested to have you here. What did you do? My husband didn't know what I am doing. Okay, so I sent my CV, and he said, when did you do all this? Because I was a mom of 2 kids. At home, I was a regular mom and wife. At work, I say, if you are intelligent in 8 hours during your work, you should be able to produce. So, for me, the key success in life is efficiency. Moreover, in high school, we had a class of logic, and that class created a very good structure of my brain. I need to know where we start, what I'm targeting, and then one of the young lady presented, it's up and downs. You have to plan your way to do things. So here I am using the most effective course in my life. This is also the logic. For everything I'm doing, I have a logical way. And you have to be simple. It is very easy to be complicated, like I'm seeing in nanotechnology. A lot of sophisticated models, but when you go to do the practical application you cannot do because it's too complicated, too much. Okay, so it's easy to be complicated. It is difficult to be simple. And that was another rule of my life. And then here I am, I have two kids close to college time, and my son is giving me an ultimatum. Oh, you are traveling all over the world and so on, but I need an American passport and an American diploma. If you don't give me that, I will never forgive you. I was a mature person already, okay? And here have been many times in US, but I never dreamed to move to US. And here I got my son ultimatum. So I embark in coming to United States as a professor at University of Illinois at Chicago, College of Pharmacy, Pharmaceutics Department. They didn't tell me I have to teach the first week I'm arriving, teaching physical pharmacy. I was a physicist, biophysicist, but not a physical pharmacy per se, by definition. And here I am, and they told me, you have to teach. Okay, start to work on that, and I have to prepare slides. At that time was those transparents, you have to do everything and so on. And in US, it's not easy to be a professor because every semester you get an evaluation from the students. If the students don't like you, you are doomed. You have to leave. Moreover, that was teaching was an appendix because I have my research project. And I say, let me see how I can survive. I have already an accent, is normal. I am not young anymore to change my accent, okay? My kids speak like they were born in America, even they weren't born. So I started to teach physical. Everybody hates physical pharmacy. They come to College of Pharmacy because they were thinking they are done with physics and mathematics and things like that. But they don't know when you come to College of Pharmacy, you need physics and statistics and so on. So how can I teach to be, to please the audience, but in the same time to teach them something? So I started to present, I don't know if you remember about the famous physician Feynman. He was an excellent American teacher in physics. Say, I'll take this approach, so you have to learn. So I use jokes all the time on a very serious topic. Now, I'm not going to go too much in detail on that, but I remember after graduating, one student I met in a pharmacy. Oh, Dr. Popescu, I remember you. I remember about surfactants. I don't know what surfactants are, but I remember your joke about surfactants. So I told them, what is a surfactant? It's something which loves water, another tail doesn't like water. It's like you guys when you have two girlfriends and you don't know which one to choose. And the French say is entre les deux mon cœur balance, meaning between these two my heart balances. And then it's come to associate with a hydrophilic lipophilic balance. Will tell you if you go with the hydrophobic one or with the hydrophilic one. So I use all the time jokes. Now, it comes a time when my daughter decided to become a student in College of Pharmacy. And she said, Mommy, you destroyed my future. Everybody recognized my name because of you. But you said them so many jokes, I even don't know about those situations. You destroy my future. Say, I don't know, what do you mean? Of course I have to invent jokes about my family, about my kids. I couldn't say about anybody else. So she said, Mommy, I don't know if I survive in this university in this way. But she became sort of used to that, and times come to attend my class. And she said, Mommy, if I'll be in the room, but if I don't like how you present, I'll not come down. If I'll come down in the first rows, that means you are good. And you can imagine, I never had the emotion in my life for anything, because I'm trying always to be myself, to be honest in my message. And 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour. My daughter didn't calm down. So suddenly I'm seeing her moving down and say, kids, to the students, I have to tell you, I passed the worst exam in my life. I got my daughters, they knew, but she told me, I told the story in an honest way. And then they became my friends, everybody. I look very, how can I say, intimidating. This is my physics. What can I do? And I teach physics. Can you imagine? Double bad situation. But the students say, you look intimidated, but when I talk to you, you are soft like a butter. So this became my well-known teacher in College of Pharmacy. Now it's come, many people are now in Europe, people think academia is the best pedestal to present yourself. In US, it's not like that. In US, academia and industry are parallel worlds. They don't talk to each other. They don't like each other. They don't appreciate each other because if you are in academia, they say, oh, you wanted a very safe position, tenure position, and that's it, job security. If you are in industry, people in academia say, oh, these people are running after money. They are not scientists, which is not true in both sides. So here I am, and my kids in college, and I have to have money. School here is very expensive. 100,000 a year for each is too much. And my salary was under. So here I am to move to industry because someone said to change, to be brave to change. Yes, I was like a just graduated student with a long career in microbiology, virology, immunology, drug delivery system, nanoparticles, microparticles, liposome, you name them, okay? And here I am, nobody was taking me because I didn't have industrial experience in US. So what can I do? Lucky me, everything in life is the time and the people you are meeting. You are the result of people you are meeting. Even when a door is closing, that was good for you because you took another direction. Vice president of a pharmaceutical company came to prepare for them a microemulsion for an antibiotic. And I was complaining, no, I'm in US, I don't do real research, I just write grants. Because here, the research has to be, okay, to get money. You apply for grants, somebody complain, okay, you apply for grants. I was always among the first three, excellent, but never first. Because, again, I was too old for to apply for some grants, okay, based on American experience and expertise, not who you are, just the time, you have a certain age, you cannot apply for certain grants. So that is very important. And lucky me, this person said, okay, Carmen, how about you move to us, you do whatever you want to do, you don't have to worry about grants, and here I am. They hired me, and that was my chance. Again, in life, it's important the people you are meeting. How do you interact with them? And that doesn't always depend on you. Depends on the upper powers, unseen powers. I call this, many people call this God. I think this is just information. This is just mathematics. That is another AI, okay? So if you are in good match with those people, it's perfect. I think my timer is over. Time is over. What I want to say is the fact that always you like to say, we did this. For me, that is zero because all those go to garbage bin if you don't meet the right people to appreciate you. So, and that's why in my life, my goal wasn't to run after titles, but I had a very solid expertise, experience. And when I'm saying something, I'm saying based on true knowledge. I do not sugarcoat anything. I do not congratulate people. That became a norm, which is wrong. Now you have to congratulate everybody, no matter if they did a lousy job, because otherwise you are not politically correct. It's not for me. But what can I say is this. Always listen to your soul, to your gut, and never give up because someone says so. You give up because you feel like it's not for you. That's it. But you have to be in charge with what you feel, how you want to conduct yourself. No family, no kids, no husband, nobody, not your colleagues. Because how honest are people? That is something missing recently, or maybe, I don't know. Honesty. Be honest to yourself, and you can better evaluate your qualities. And stick to those, and don't let them deter you. So, again, for me, I love teaching, but in the same time, I love to do applicative work. I want to see that work to have, and I was very pleased to see all these ladies, the 5 ladies I've been listening to, they have something which has practicality. Don't just dream, don't do just academic exercises. Do something to your name to be associated to that, to be inside of you, to say, okay, I did something in my life. When I go to bed, usually I'm thinking, what did I do today? I'm learning every day. I am old, but I'm still, how can I say, I'm pushing my students to go to understand AI. 6 years ago, I started to say, AI is coming. You have to be prepared. Nobody was thinking will be so dynamic, so rapid, so effervescent. Now it is effervescent stage. So we have to be prepared. But women have a quality nobody acknowledge and nobody appreciate. Don't wait to be appreciated. You will not be appreciated. People don't like to appreciate other people. But you have to appreciate yourself. You have to trust yourself, okay? So when I'm saying that is the fact that a woman it is a polyvalent person, because we can give birth. Nobody can give birth, only women, okay? We can adjust our intelligence to let others shine because they are so proud. They need to shine. They cannot live. Their ego is so high. They cannot live with this, sort of shine which is not real, a halo, but they don't have the halo. You have the halo. You have the shininess because you can help the other. And I think the best mission in life for me was to trust the young generation because they are more pure. They have the future. They are more open. And I hope that is the best thing you can do. Not your CV means nothing at the end, but how many people life you touch, that is the most important, I think. And for the young generation, and I'm done. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I don't have slides. I could have because I like to write poetry but I didn't know this is the setting. Sorry. Love you, ladies. I'm really impressed, but in a how can I say, a real recognition, and try to be yourself. That is the only thing I can advise. I'm a young geriatric person, okay?
But your energy is very young. Thank you very much.
That's the problem. Everybody is asking me, the students, where are you getting this energy? I don't know. Everything is in the brain. Believe me, energy is coming from the brain.
Yes, but I think that you use your physics rules that you learn from the studies and you apply to your life as well. So
yes, all the time. I'm applied physics person.
Physics rules in your life. So it is very interesting. It was really very hard and successful journey, I think, yours.
Yes. And you can contact me anytime. I can see many things now. Sustainability, it is carbon footprint, traceability. All this stuff are very strong in US, in pharmaceutical industry, and became very important. And again, I think the third person from so something, the name, the lady.
Yeah, Sejal, I
okay.
wish.
Sejal, okay, I admire you for moving outside your comfort zone. So when they close the door for you, that was the best thing that happened to you. Believe me, and take advantage of that, okay? And it was Swahi. Yes, you moved because that is we have individual life, and of course sometimes time is not there, location is not there, and you have to get married and you have to have kids because that the society is asking you. If it will be for me, I will never get married, but my husband was waiting for me 7 years, so what I could say no, after 7 years I had to get married. I didn't. So this is life. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
And I think that when you love what you do and do what you love, as you did,
you don't work.
You can keep a balance in the life as well. So even if you work
yes,
hard
but
for
you
your dreams, you follow your children's dreams as well. So
yes,
you have a good energy, so you can take a balance very easy.
We'll hope we'll have some time to discuss as well. So Carmen, it's not your fault, it's my fault because you asked me, but you told me what you want me to do. I said, just inspire the others as you inspire me, because she's the one after each presentation in the conference, she says to me, don't care what people say, believe in yourself because you can do it. So when she is in the conferences, I'm so happy because I love to hear her feedback. So she is Carmen. So it's simply Carmen, very realistic and there. And I'm sorry that you had to wake up very early today.
No
sorry also for this delay.
I'm young geriatric. I'm a young geriatric.
The leadership is not working so well for my first time. So maybe we go ahead with other speakers. Then Carmen, if you and the others are still available, would like to have some discussion depending on your availability.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, ladies. Very inspiring. Do you record this conference or not?
Yes.
Okay, send me the link because very interesting presentation.
Carmen, thank you from the bottom
very
of my
good,
heart.
Very good. I honestly, I was thinking, this will be sort of like during communism, the woman and so on, just blah, blah, blah. But you are real women, real,
we all
faces of the science. That is very important.
Because we all come from a community that we had to pass a lot of challenging. So the thing that pushed us is just being curious and not giving up. So that's why maybe we gathered all here. And I know that it's not enough for you to speak, but that was the idea to know each other.
I think I took more than I needed time. Sorry, but when I start, I cannot stop. So sorry.
No, it's a pleasure. Okay, Professor Mimosa.
I think that my session was finished. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mimosa. I'll take a mimosa on Sunday.
Yes, it's like the name Mimosa.
And you can see flower in the.
No, here mimosa is champagne with
orange juice.
Yes,
I know.
Flowers, I love flowers, but I take a mimosa on Sunday.
Thanks a lot, really.
Thank you, Mimosa. You were wonderful.
It was really
Thank
a pleasure.
You so much.
Thank you, Professor Mimosa, for leading this super interesting session. Now we go ahead with the last session. And the other moderator is another fantastic professor from the Eastern Balkans University, Professor Ida Kokalari. Ida, please, the floor is yours.
Yes. Thank you so much, Julia. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
So hello, everyone, and welcome to this last session of this webinar. Just a brief introduction about myself. My name is Ida Kokalari. As Julia mentioned, I'm from Western Balkans University in Tirana, Albania. I graduated from the University of Turin with a PhD in nanomedicine and nanotechnology, and now I'm a lecturer in nanomedicine and other nanotechnology-related courses here at Western Balkans University. It's a real pleasure to moderate this session today, and I would really like to thank both Julia and Marinella for the enormous work that they have done for this workshop. And from a personal point of view, it was also very wonderful to see some very great scientists from my former department in Turin. So thank you very much for all the presentations that we had before. The first speaker for this session is Dr. Nora Limani Bektashi. She is from Mother Teresa University, North Macedonia. She's currently a lecturer and a researcher with expertise in food science and safety. And she's also very actively involved in science education and community development. Dr. Nora, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a real pleasure to have you here with us. And yeah, please go ahead.
Nora, you are still muted. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the invitation in this amazing conference. Here I am with my baby on the camera, and right in this time he is waken up, but maybe she will wait a little. These past days have been quite intense after giving birth to my baby, so I didn't have the opportunity to prepare slides. Instead, I will simply share my journey as a scientist and a mother. I feel deeply blessed to be here today among you. February 26, I was attending the doctoral promotion ceremony, and from there I went straight to the maternity ward. And on February 27th, I gave birth to my daughter. It might sound like a movie script, but this is my life, and with all its challenges, it is incredibly beautiful, and I'm endlessly grateful. Within 24 hours, one day I held my PhD diploma in my hands. That is a high achievement for me. And the next day, I held my newborn daughter in my arms. That was a divine blessing. Today, I am 6 days postpartum, and I feel truly honored and thankful to stand here and share this story with you. I faced similar challenges year earlier as well. Before defending my PhD dissertation, I was breastfeeding my first daughter, who was only 1 year old at the time. And moments like this may seem stressful from the outside, but in reality, they filled me with strength, inspiration, and confidence. Life has shown me something simple but powerful. We can achieve extraordinary things when the driving force is love for our children, for our profession, for the life we are building, but without rushing or forcing ourselves. Slowly, step by step, with calmness, patience, dedication, and also with rest when we need it. Throughout my life, I often remind myself a simple thought. Brick by brick, so I always say to myself, brick by brick, a tower is built, without rushing, but with confidence, responsibility, and stability. So my name is Nora Limani Bektashi, and I am an assistant professor at the University Mother Teresa in Skopje, Faculty of Technological Sciences, Food Technology, and Biochemical Engineering. I come from a small Balkan country that is North Macedonia. As many of you know, the journey of women in science, especially in Balkan countries, is not always easy. But I strongly believe that when you truly love something with all your heart, you will always find a way forward. When people ask me, isn't your profession difficult, studying all the time, doing research, I always answer, when you do it with love, nothing is impossible. My inspiration for science began within my family. I grew up with my parents who spoke to me about science, nature, and the universe from a young age, and I listened with fascination. I always loved observing, analyzing, and understanding the processes that shape life. The curiosity led me to study biochemistry during my bachelor and master studies. Later, during my doctoral studies, I continued in the field of food technology with a focus on microbiology. Alongside my academic work, I also work as a nutritionist. Interestingly, all of these paths developed along my marriage and the growth of my family. Before becoming a mother, I thought that children might slow down my goals and career development. But when I became a mother for the first time, I realized the opposite was true. Motherhood made me stronger. My children became my greatest motivation and the driving force of my life. They taught me patience, discipline, and better time management. I never tried to be perfect. I only tried to create balance. To young women and girls, I want to say something very simple. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Start where you are. When you begin something with love and dedication, life has a surprising way of aligning the pieces along your path. Sometimes doors open exactly where you least expect them. The challenges of parenthood are real, especially for a mother who is building her career, conducting research, attending conferences, and working on projects. But I have overcome these challenges through love for what I do and a strong sense of purpose. I also feel very fortunate to have a partner who supports me and encourages me constantly. In difficult moments, he reminds me, Nora, you can do it, keep doing, don't stop. Challenges become also lighter when I look at the angelic faces of my children and think that one day they will be proud of their mother. And today, standing here after this intense day of my life, I want to say something clearly. We do not have to choose between family and career. We can build both. Perhaps not perfectly, but realistically. To the young women and girls, I want to say, do not wait for ideal conditions and do not wait for approval from others. Start where you are, because the path is not built in one day. It is built with perseverance, with faith, and with determination to never give up. So this is it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nora, for sharing this experience with you. Yeah, you shared some reflections that are personally very dear to me, combining motherhood and science. I'm also a mother. Yeah, I think I also wanted to kind of congratulate you on this very special new chapter of your life. And yeah, I wish you all the best. At the end of this session, we will have also a dedicated part for discussion. So if you agree with me, let's move on to the second speaker. Thank you again, Dr. Nora.
Thank you very much.
The second speaker of this session is going to bring us to the field of neuroscience. It's a pleasure to welcome Dr. Joella Bame from Dartmouth College in the US. Dr. Joella is a neuroscientist whose research is focused on early stages of neurodegeneration and new possibilities for brain repair. Thank you very much, Joella, for accepting this invitation. And yeah, please, the floor is yours.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, go ahead, Joella.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for the invitation and for the very kind introduction. It's always a delight for me when I hear my name pronounced correctly. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. As you can say from the name, I'm originally from Albania. So I want to talk a little bit about my journey because that's the instructions I got, and I know the title is too big and too scary maybe. Yeah, I started my journey in Albania, and when I was 18, it was when I moved abroad to go to Turkey, where I studied molecular biology and genetics at Istanbul Technical University. And so I had the, really great pleasure to live in what I'd say one of the best cities in the world. I was with a big group of Albanians there, so I was very lucky. And I think we make the country proud at that time because the top 8 students of the university at that year were all Albanians. And from E2, I went to Spain for a research traineeship, and from there to Germany in one of the great Max Planck institutes, and from there to US where I finished my PhD in neuroscience last year, and I was a fellow of American Heart Association. And luckily, my project contributed to a $2 million grant that we recently got from the NIH. So it's been a very long journey, navigating countries, navigating different science. And what I wanted to do the most was to give something back and to have a way to bring something of what I learned to the community, especially to my country, where science is always felt as something secondary or not always the priority or not sometimes even known that much. And so I started some of this science communication, science advocacy with a group called Head Albanian, where we would synthesize complex scientific information and translate it to Albanian and then just give it to the public. And this was especially important during COVID times, where we had to debunk some of the conspiracy theories, but also inform the public on what was good public health measures to take and what was going on basically around them, especially in relation to science. And this is my way of telling my lab mates that, you know what, I'm famous in Albania and they can believe everything. And not only that, but I also wanted to give back to the students of Albania. So that year was what inspired me. So this 2020-2021 was the time that inspired me to, really start the journey of giving back. And I started organizing different webinars to inform the students on what a career in science means, how can you get there, how can you get grants or scholarships, and what just opportunities exist for us. Because it was something that when I was in high school, it wasn't, made available to me. So I'd say sort of struggled just, finding my way and just finding the right people to ask for guidance. So I wanted to be that guidance for them. And I've continued that ever since. Definitely you do things better when you are in a team. So I've been part of, wonderful global teams that, have encouraged me in this journey, and especially in the giving back of it. And I want to keep things short, so I wanted to dig a little bit now in the science that I am doing. I study the brain, but in neuroscience, you can study the brain and do completely different things than the other person who is also studying the brain. And sometimes, even though we're in the same field, we don't even speak the same language. But what we do is we take things at a deeper level. You have the organism, you have the brain, you have the cells, you have the compartments of the cells, the organelles, the molecules. So we start from the cell and then do all the rest. And one question that I wanted to tackle in my research is how does neurodegeneration happen, and how do some of these brain cells actually die? And you think it as a simple concept that we would have known by far, but there is a lot of unknowns in the brain. And one of the biggest unknowns is in these other cells of the brain that are not neurons, because neuroscience is also not only about neurons. There's also these supporting cells called glia cells that for too long we thought them as static, they're just there to fill space or to support the neurons, but they can do much more than that. And I'm particularly looking at a myelin-forming cell of the brain on these glia cells, which makes myelin, of course, which is an insulating layer, and it makes possible that the information in the brain can be transmitted so quickly and so efficiently that one hemisphere of our brain can communicate so efficiently with the other. And we wanted to know, how do these cells actually die and degenerate? And for that, we established a technique, as you can see here, where we can label the DNAs of the cell and use a laser to bleach a very small portion of that cell, and that eventually will cause DNA damage, ROS production, and will lead to cellular death. And so we do that for neurons, we do that for other glia cells in the brain, and they eventually die and they get cleared out within 24 hours, which is a normal process that you'd expect for almost, I'd say, most of the cells in our organism. But then we do this for these myelin-forming cells that I spoke to you about, and this cell in particular took a mere 49 days to actually die and disappear, which was, very almost shocking to us that while we were expecting that every cell would take only 1 day to actually eventually degenerate and die, these cells were just so different and so unique, not only from all the other cells in the brain, but almost every other cell that we have in our organisms. They are so stable and they can survive that damage for weeks to actually months. And so the next questions we asked, it was on regarding mitochondria. So what happens to the mitochondria of the cell? And we know from high school biology that mitochondria are so important for energy production. And if a cell doesn't have mitochondria, it cannot live, right? Well, actually wrong, because these cells can stay without mitochondria for months, for up to 2 months eventually, when they are targeted with this insult that induces their death. So not only we were shocked to see how long it takes these cells to die, but we were also shocked to see that within the first few days, the first 3 days that these cells would be damaged, there would be a disappearance of mitochondria taking place, and then we would have these zombie cells almost just sitting there in the brain. You'd see their structure, you'd see the cell is actually still there, but it's dysfunctional. And it's sitting in the brain for too long until it gets cleared out. And so why that's important is it's informing us about that neurodegeneration actually can happen so much early than we think. And we have to actually have the right tools to understand that, to detect that in the first place. I'm lucky to be in neuroscience at a time where it's become like a hot topic and people are just so invested on it. Alzheimer's, dementia, they're so difficult diseases to tackle, and the field has done a lot, but when we compare how much it has been done and studying it and how much is out there in terms of like therapies and successes of these therapies, there is, a big disproportion there. And that's not because the science isn't good or the people who are doing the science aren't good. It's such a difficult thing to tackle, especially when things, have degraded. It's so hard to recover it's already lost. And so my view on that is we have to start this recovery too early. We have to prevent it when it's on time. And mitochondrial biology could be one of these avenues we can pursue, because not only it's a consequence, especially for the cells, for example, but it can also be a cause to their death, because we test that by deleting one of these mitochondrial genes, and that will eventually also lead to the death of the cells. So my contribution to the field in that aspect was that, well, first, maybe we can use mitochondrial loss as a biomarker of this start of degeneration of these particular cells. And then second, we have to use these different diagnostic tools to really understand that neurodegeneration happens early on, because that would give us the right window to actually use these treatments and eventually prevent neurodegeneration, which otherwise, if we started too late, it might be unrecoverable. And speaking of recovery, one of the best ways we can regenerate these cells is by inducing differentiation, so maturation or creation of new cells in the brain. And what you are just looking at right now is the birth of a cell in the live brain. And you can see that mitochondria is bursting out from the cells as the cell is just formed. And then once formation has happened, once maturity has taken place, then this cell eventually reduces its mitochondrial content and it becomes stable. And the way I think about this process, it starts, expanding out, and that's like the pre-tenure faculty position in my view, when you have like all this energy, you have to have it everywhere because you're building a lab, you're like setting the stage for what you do for the rest of your life, and this is exactly what these cells are doing once they're born. And then once they fully mature and once they reach their final stage, that's my post-tenure PI, they already are set there, they're very stable, and they persist as such. And so what this discovery has enabled us to do is and have mitochondria as another marker of this maturation stage of the cells. And now we are able to just look at the mitochondria of the cells and be able to tell how long before was this cell actually born. So these two, I'd say, are my main contribution to the field, and I'm sure I can talk more about it. But I'd just like to thank you for the opportunity to, share just a little bit of that.
Thank you so much, Jaina, for this very interesting presentation, and also the topic is truly fascinating. And I also wanted to thank you as well for the contribution that you are giving to the Albanian community. It's a very much needed contribution to Albanian students and also to the community in general. For question and discussion, we will focus on that during the last part of this webinar. So let's move to the last speaker of this session. The last speaker is Dr. Chitkala Kalidas. She's a Senior Vice President Global Head of Environmental, Social and Governance and Bayer. Dr. Kalidas brings together more than 23 years of experience in drug regulation, regulatory affairs, sustainability, and global health equity. Thank you so much, Dr. Kalidas, for joining us today. It's a real pleasure to have you with us. And please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Greetings to everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here with all of you today. I've really enjoyed all of the sessions that I've been able to listen in on. I want to thank Julia and all of the organizers for inviting me to participate in this very engaging workshop. And as I said, it's really, we all have so much in common, and it's wonderful to be able to share and exchange as well. So a little bit about myself. I'm a scientist by training. I now work at the intersection of science, business, and sustainability. It is something that I truly enjoy, and I love what I do, and that makes it all the more enjoyable. I'm originally from India. And I grew up in India. I did my bachelor's and my master's in India, and I came to the US for my PhD. So it was a big change for me from the southern part of India to upstate New York. So I went to Cornell for my PhD, and Cornell is a place where there's snow even in May, whereas where I come from, the weather is a very nice 75 degrees to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, all throughout the year. The coldest it gets is about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So I really loved the transition. I was young. I was looking for some new experiences and wanted to be independent. And so that was my first time out of my country. At that time. And I truly enjoyed the experience of being a graduate student and, getting my PhD. And that was one of the most vivid experiences I've had. Lots of challenges, because when I came to the US, I was expecting it to be one amazing ride. Which I would say it still has been an amazing ride, but looking at some of the shows on TV, I knew, I was going there for my PhD, but I was thinking that, oh, I can handle it. I've been able to get through tough exams and tough situations. I will be able to get through this. But it was a different kind of experience, being on my own and also managing the research aspect as well as the teaching aspect right from the beginning. It was really about balancing and planning your workday in a way that I was not used to at that stage. But soon I got used to it. And Julia had asked me to talk about some of the challenges that I had and how I managed to overcome those challenges. I would say at that stage, the challenges were pretty straightforward in the sense, as a graduate student on the way to getting my PhD, it was really about, ensuring that the experiments were successful, right? At that time, that was my big focus. And there were so many factors that I could not control. And I was at a stage where, part of my research project had stalled in a way. And I had to find a way to repurpose or rework the goal of my research. Of course, my professor was very helpful. And what I also realized is some of the problems, to solve them, you really have to be your own supporter, biggest cheerleader, and you have to do the work. So I had to do the work to get myself out of that knot that I was in. And for that, people like your advisor, your colleagues, other researchers from other universities, they can provide input. You have to listen very actively. You're the only one who knows the problem that you're dealing with. So listening to experts, being able to know which information is useful for you and how you can integrate it into your research project to solve the problem that you're having. That's what I learned from that, where the solution is not going to be given to you on a platter. And I think given everyone's experience here, I think we've all gone through this at one point or the other. But I just wanted to focus on that some problems only you can solve it for yourself. And that was the learning for me, that you can expect to get help. And that kind of help is not someone else doing your work for you, but somebody with experience in related fields sharing their knowledge, and you being able to listen and understand and extrapolate how you can apply those learnings to your own situation. So that lateral application of learnings is very important. I also want to talk a little bit about how I see my daily, what's the goal of my daily life was also something that Julia and I had discussed briefly as a point to address today. At the moment, I work at the intersection of science, business, and sustainability, as I mentioned earlier. However, early on in my career, after my PhD, I went into management consulting. And the choice was an interesting one for me because on one hand, I considered going into postdoc and then an academic career. I come from a family where I have quite a few professors in my family, so I really admire that track very much. But I was also interested in this other track that was completely new and nobody had done that in my family or in my friends circle, which was management consulting. And the way I chose that was because some of my friends whom I respect, whose work I respect and whom I respect as people, they picked this field and I only found out about it through them. And there was a lot of interest in that field at that time within my friends' circle. So I looked into it. I realized that companies like McKinsey and Boston Consulting Group, they recruit PhDs who do not have MBAs, and they recruit them for their analytical and problem-solving skills, is what I heard. So I thought, why not try for it? And I tried it. I was successful. I joined the Boston Consulting Group as a consultant, and I really looked at it as my exposure to the business world, perhaps an on-the-job MBA type experience. And I truly enjoyed it because it helped me understand how to operate in the business world, how one presents oneself, how one solves business problems. And if you're a scientist, problem solving is something that you're trained on. So I really enjoyed that experience. And after that experience for a couple of years, what I realized was I do want something that I can call my own. I found the consulting experience to be really a great experience. However, I felt that, having spent quite a bit of time on my PhD, I was, 5 years in that program, and I've gone through a lot in terms of scientific training, and I did not want to lose that. So I looked for an opportunity where I can combine my scientific training with my business training. And that's when I went into my first job in the pharmaceutical industry, which is with Merck. I stayed with them for 15 years. I joined in a portfolio management group, which gave me the exposure to the entire R&D environment in a large multinational pharmaceutical company. I also had the opportunity to work with people from, I don't know, 30 to 40 different countries. I traveled extensively. That experience really broadened my horizons, being able to meet people from different parts of the world, traveling to different parts of the world to understand the work they do, and also understand people, because I felt that every time I would travel to one of the subsidiaries of Merck at that time, I got to visit people. Most of the time it was our offices were in the capital cities. And I was surprised and also amazed at the level of ownership and pride people felt about the brand, about the company, even if they were far away from headquarters. And these were some of the best minds in the company. And it was a wonderful experience for them. And that really shaped me for the rest of my life, rest of my career, because I genuinely enjoy the diverse global environment. Because even if we are from different countries, what I realized was there is always a similarity there. Everybody is proud about their culture. They want to bring their perspective to the discussion, and it really enriches every discussion when you have people of different backgrounds and especially different cultures. And I'm also a big foodie, so cultural differences also lead me to differences in cuisine, and I enjoy that very much. And one may think that, well, that's really something on the personal side. No, but it really makes a difference. The professional and the personal angles come together very nicely when you have a very diverse setting. So for me, coming from consulting, spending 15 years in product development and portfolio management at Merck really shaped my thinking. I spent a lot of time in product development from a regulatory perspective, regulatory affairs, working with the FDA and all the health authorities around the world. Taught me about negotiation, or negotiation in the sense based on data, based on facts and truth. How do you present data in a way that people can truly evaluate the validity of the data to support claims that you want as part of your product profile? So again, science-based discussions and enabling people to understand what the company is trying to do with a particular product, that's where I felt that was my sweet spot. Being at the intersection of science and business, that was my sweet spot that I realized along the way in my career. And then sustainability came later on, and it was driven more by my personal experience. Coming from India and living in the US, now as a US citizen, I realized that not all technologies are equally available to people around the world. I knew that before, but I felt it very acutely working on different drugs. And also when my family needed medical care several years ago, I realized that the technologies that were available, especially vascular surgery related technologies, were much more advanced at that time in the US. So going through that experience helped me realize that there is really a need to make health technologies and innovative health products available more broadly to people around the world. And that's when I started an initiative as part of my day job. This was a second job I volunteered to do, which is a sustainability initiative within oncology. It was a health equity initiative enabling people around the world to gain access, better access to our products. And that led me to the broader sustainability role that I'm in right now as the head of environment, social, and governance at Bayer, where I oversee sustainability activities across all three divisions of the company: pharmaceutical, agriculture, and consumer health. And you can see behind me what really motivates me every day is our vision, company vision of health for all, hunger for none. In fact, the reason I work for Bayer is this vision that this mission that we have, which is really enabling health for all and then addressing food security issues around the world that is my sweet spot, and that's what I enjoy the most. For me, the inspiration and also the driving force in my career is, as a woman, as a human being, whatever abilities you are born with, whatever abilities you're able to develop over the period of your life, those are all gifts. And these are gifts that one needs to share broadly. And it's a gift to be able to have, to be a scientist, to be able to work in a multinational company, to be able to meet so many people from around the world, and to be able to do something about health and hunger. And that's how I see that. I feel that having a career has enriched me as a person. It's broadened my views of the world, for which I'm very grateful. And, I really loved the reference to being a mother by so many speakers earlier. I'm a mother as well. I have a daughter. And for me, it's about, what can I do little by little throughout my career to make the world a little bit better. I mean, this may seem like a very broad ambition, but we are all here doing that, right, in our own way, so that the world is a kinder and a better place for future generations to come, and also from an environment perspective, a cleaner place, a safer place for future generations. So having a daughter really made me think beyond myself and think about future generations, and also think about everybody as somebody's child. Right? So when you work with people, even if you have challenges, to always give the basic respect to a person, find ways to disagree in an agreeable manner, and find constructive solutions. And I really liked Carmen's comment about, how women really have an ability to self-regulate, and even if the light is not shining on them, to continue the good work. And I think there are times we also enjoy the limelight, but I think Carmen's point was, we don't need that to survive. We are fine with or without that limelight. And I think the important part is, what is the mission we have, and to also never be taken for granted. If we have that flexible attitude, yes, that's because we choose to be that way, but I think also knowing your worth. And I think it was Swati who said that earlier, because you're worth it, because each of us, we are worth what we, worthy of respect and worthy of the work that we are doing. And I think we need to be strong supporters of one another, supporting other women, other people, not just women, people of all different types, and helping them to bring their best to work is what gives me energy. So these are a few things that I wanted to share with you, and I'm also happy to address any questions at whichever time point the moderator allows. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this inspiring talk. Very powerful messages, I would say, and for the scientific community in general. And very interesting to hear also your thoughts on industry perspective, especially for people like me that are more focused on academia. It was really nice. Thank you again. So this is the last speaker of this session. Thank you very much to the speakers of this session, but to all the speakers of this workshop. I now hand over to Julia for the last part of this webinar. And thank you so much for all the participants for being here.
Thank you very much, Ida, for this great moderation of this session. Thank you very much, Tkala, for managing to be here. I know that you have been in a long travel, and you still managed to be here. And really, whatever you said, it really confirms, because you already also proved this through actions. Maybe it was not enough time to add also the generosity that you already have and have shown, and we have discussed a lot, that all of this can be by being so kind, and thank you for being so. So I'm really so grateful, and unfortunately this is so limited time, even though I passed almost 1 hour, but if I have to apologize for something beautiful, I really should do in front of all of you, because you're all so busy. But I'm so grateful for all those inspiring talks, and I have no words to express that, because each of you didn't hesitate to give the support for a community that was not known at all to you, but for trusting on people, and there is no kind of racism behind. You just see the hope, you give the hope to the people. So I'm very glad to have met Kala when we discussed a lot for how being kind, and all of you, you have proven to us that the most humble person are the most successful one, and it's more than a confirmation. I'm feeling so blessed that each person that was here as a presenter, I know personally. And to be honest, we are blessed to have those people surrounding us. And it was such a great topic to see female, woman, mother, because this, Chitkala, you are not in the beginning. For us in Albania, North Macedonia, and Kosovo, the 8th of March is also the Mother's Day. And on the 7th of March is also the Teacher's Day. So it's the mothers are our first role models, and it's a continuation, our teachers than our professors. So I really thank you a lot. If there will be some space to give some key messages, even though everything has been done. And I'm thanking all the organizers for helping me, Marinela, Professor Arben Merkoçi, Professor Majlinda Vasjari, Professor Albana Lili, Ida Kukalari, Professor Moza Basholi, Professor Valbona Aliko, and Professor Anila Hoda, that unfortunately she had other commitments. All the speakers, Anastasia for making the flyer design, and I want to thank a lot my family that they really every time taught me how to be kind and never lose this. And also I want to give a very big thanks to the University of Turin Department of Chemistry, Professor Bracco, and that Anastasia, she was there. I see that also Fabrizio, because they really offered me a second home. I never feel as a foreigner. And I disturb Professor Bracco even for a single thing that is not even scientific. So thank you very much for being so supportive. And thank you to all the speakers. If any of you has to add something, I'm more than happy to continue this, because for me, it's not a problem to keep longer a bit, because if we have to keep longer, and for these beautiful things that it has been inspiring for women in science, for supporting for this happy International Day that I'm wishing you, I think this is a confirmation how realistic has been, because the idea was to bring the real story. So when something is real, it can never be planned. You have just to enjoy it, to be curious, to hope, push, and inspire each other. So really, thank you very much. And I'm really grateful, and I wish many, many successes, and keep being so kind, amazing, and inspiring. So I give the floor to all of you for adding something. And yeah, thank you for trusting me as a leadership. I see that I have to learn a lot through this path.
Can I say just one thing?
Yes, sure.
Again, thank you very much. It was amazing, and a lot of very, very interesting stories. I just wish that you will keep this momentum and this kind of consortium, because I believe that the projects in the future, if you are going to apply together in some projects, really will make difference. Whatever project led by women and with a big participation by women, I'm sure that is going to be successful. And of course, I believe that are the best projects. So I would recommend, and probably the next event, to have to show some success stories in projects together with people who are here or probably have been in other events. So I would recommend you to keep each other in mind while planning new projects, European projects, applications, because science needs support, financial support, and to work together and help each other. It means that you need to be together in consortium of projects. So, and here there were a lot of expertise. So I'm sure that more than one project can be applied. So try to keep in contact together. So in the next event, we can hear more successful stories that have been born from this event. So again, thank you very much for this fantastic event, and good luck to everyone for whatever you are doing in your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Arben. You are a source of inspiration for all of us, for the diaspora, and you are the one every time that keeps pushing us to not forget our roots, no matter where we go, because hiding our past will not help us to change the present and to think for the future. So thank you very much for really giving me this opportunity. It has been more than a pleasure, and I have no words to describe how emotional also at the same time is for me, this one. But really, I was aware that with those speakers, it wouldn't be enough one entire day to speak with each of them, but it was more like a starting to get know with each other, and all of them, they didn't even hesitate or doubt to not give the support. So here is a proof how women support the other woman, and here is how the role model should be and the true inspiration for all us as a young female. So thank you very much. If someone else has to add something, it's more than a pleasure.
Juliet, just if you let me, I want to thank you very much because this event was so successful due to you. I have to say it because it was, you were very careful in everything. So my compliments, and I think from the all of participants, you have the same. Thank you.
Thank you,
was
Professor
nice.
Valbuena.
Really
We
nice.
are a team, so in a team, nobody is considered who works more. I'm just letting you know and further peace without too many emails.
Yeah,
so we did all together because for helping me through all AWIN, Albanian Academy of Science, that keeps pushing these events and help us to organize Nano Balkan that brings all of us, because to point out that all this connection that came to me because I wanted to pursue a PhD. From the PhD, I came to Turin. Turin gave me the opportunity to go back to my country, Nano Balkan. In Nano Balkan, I met a professor from Turkey, Ece, that she recommended me to apply in Lindau Nobel Laureate meeting. In Lindau Nobel Laureate meeting, I met all those amazing people. Then to following all science, because the Lindau Nobel Laureate meeting was also financially supported by Bayer Foundation that we have here at Chitkala. So, never be afraid to reach people because they will appreciate your kindness, and you can be kind and also give your ideas. The strength is behind the positivity and the curiosity.
True. What's the worst they can say?
Thank you very much, really, for all your sacrifices have done for this and the support, honestly. It means that being organizer and organizing these inspiring events is when you have the right people close to you. And if this event is because of all of you, not because of me.
Yeah, you have your merit, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate very much.
Thank you. Okay.
Someone else has to add something. And thanks again for all the time zones that have been. Carmen, Joella, today you have been waking up very early, and I apologize, Chitkala, she's still under the travels, the others, all the commitments for keeping for 4 hours out. I know that it's a lot for an event that you didn't know, so thank you very much.
What I want to add is the facts that are with the speakers I were able to listen to. I have many things in common. Now I found out that I am in US, in fact, due to Hacettepe University in Turkey. I had there a sort of fellowship for 3 months, and I was working for BCG vaccine as in liposomes for bladder cancer treatment. And I was working at my institute in Romania and so on. And then I was the helper, these people in Hacettepe University. And they say, oh, Carmen, we cannot help you, but we can put you in touch with someone at University of Illinois at Chicago working on the same topic. So it is a very small world. Due to that stuff, I came in US because they needed my expertise. So can you see, it's a small world, and helping each other. The way you help the young generation is the way to leave a trace of your existence, not the CV, not whatever phantasmagoric stuff we are doing, but I think the fact that someone, Professor Suhail Akash, a wonderful person, She said, okay, Carmen, I'll put you in touch with my PhD mentor. So here I am, just because I met that person.
Exactly. And you will meet every time, everyone for a reason. And I like every time when you write to me, when I said, I'm sorry that you have to wake up early, you told me no pain, no gain.
Yes.
And I strongly believe that never be afraid to share and give. What you will give, you will have back in one way or another, not maybe from that person, but from the others. All of you are really models for me. And I feel so humbled to reach each of them, even Swati, Sajal, that they are very young. But really, all of you international Albanians, all the trust that you have put, it's really a strong point that how much we should support each other. And I really thank you all so much. And happy International Women's Day. And as Professor Arben Merkoçi said, woman deserves to have a happy International Day every day. So it's really important that.
Yeah.
And because from a woman, it comes a birth that we had a lot of cases today as a mother, but it's not a birth of only of a human, but it's a birth of a lot of innovative and creativity. So really, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
If nobody has something to add, I will conclude the session. Unfortunately, to be honest, I didn't realize how the hours have been passed. I apologize for all the time, for changing.
It's perfect. Don't apologize. We thank you. That's it. Don't apologize. Never apologize. No apologies. If you start with apologies, you are not on a good start. Don't start with a joke or apologies. Say, this is me. Good or bad, this is me.
Yes, also Professor Bracco, she's in the office, in the lab, and she every time suffers this more than everyone. So she says to me, don't apologize, just trust on yourself. So
never apologize.
That's right.
Thank you very much again. See you in the next event. Let's not be this.
Love you, ladies. Keep in
touch.
touch.
Let's be the first of a lot of others. And thank you all again, and see you next time. And happy International Women's Day, happy Mother's Day, and a mimosa flower for for all of you.
And a mimosa drink on Sunday for a brunch.
Yes. Take care. Cheers, everyone.
Happy day. Happy every day. Zhvillua.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, Julia.
Bye. Thank you very much, Professor Mele. Nice to have you there.
Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you, Sajal. Thank you for being there.
Bye. Have a nice day.
I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, enjoyed.